Hello, man. Happy Sunday. It's a Sunday afternoon here in the state of Ohio and north coast of the United States, where all the men are masculine and all the women are pretty. And here we are, sunny Ohio. So I'm going topicless today because I just woke up and I didn't think about it, and I still haven't thought about it. And let me see how my sound is. Going topicless today because I just there we go. Everything sounds good, and I'm going topicless. I feel so dirty. And we have Joey and Jessica Parker, and and Claire will be in, and we got approval to do this. So, how you doing, Joey?
Oh, doing good. Sunny Southern California. Just enjoying the day.
You're just enjoying today? Yeah, that's about all you could do on a Sunday is we make towels. I was out earlier. I started working on my bike, the new one, and I got pretty far. But my buddy came over. He says, "Let's go to breakfast." And I ate this big thing. It's called the bomb. It's got like eggs and potatoes and all that gravy poured over the top of it. I got home and I went into a food coma.
Yeah.
It just fell asleep, and I was like, then I woke up, I went out, put together what I was working on, and came in and talked to you. So I was not prepared. So I'm going topicless today.
Yeah.
Shirts on or shirts off, girls. That used to be the big laugh. When I was younger, I'd be like going to an apartment or some girl's house or something, and I'd be like, boots on or boots off.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was funny. That would be my question before: is this boots on or boots off? Is because I didn't want to get. You know what the thing is? I didn't want to get over there and find out it was boots on, and I was just there to do something, like fix a cabinet or something. That's what that meaning is: boots on or boots off. If you get there and you're just there to fix a cabinet and you're not going to get any, you might as well just leave.
Yeah.
Oh, so we read.
Badass Dan's in the chat.
Oh, hey, Badass Dan. It's been a while. What's up? We haven't seen Badass.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. It was Hank the Man, Hank the Mean Man. He keeps changing that. Hank the Man, Hank the Mean Man.
Yeah.
What'd you do? Did you make a girl unhappy, Hank?
And you got the legend RP in there.
Yeah, RP's in the house, and who else? We expect probably JK and the usual crowd and everything. So we're top
First ballot Hall of Famers. That's the first ballot MGTOW Hall of Famers.
Most of those first ballot MGTOW Hall of Famers. It's the HOF.
Yeah.
And today I'm Coach Anna X Amander, and we got Coach Dude Coach Dude Sarah Jessica Parker.
Yeah, he changes life coaches every other year, so this is the year I'm doing it.
Yeah.
So, try to straighten her out a little bit.
Try to straighten her out, get her back on the horse.
Square pegs, yeah. Get her back to the square pegs day. Wasn't she on that show? Square Pegs or something?
Square Pegs. Was she on Square Pegs?
I can't even. She was on that show, yeah. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Yeah, we have to look. Is she an ugly little girl too?
I remember watching that as a kid.
Square Peg. Oh yeah. There was what you call it? House. What was the one with Kurt? There's Full House, and then there was Square Pegs, and then there was the one with Kurt, Growing Pains.
Oh yeah, Kurt Cameron, your buddy. Yeah,
Kurt Cameron. Those $10.75.
Yeah. How much interest are you collecting every day on that one?
Oh man, I got to refigure out interest because last year I think he was up to $11 and like 47 cents or something. Now he's probably up to like $12 now that he owes me.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm collecting. I'm gonna come to your house. I'm gonna come to your house, Kurt. Don't make me come to your house. Get my money.
Yeah, yeah. It's crazy.
Kurt Cameron. Tribulation Force. That's the worst one. Or maybe the Christmas one.
Yeah, the
It's
bait
like
and switch technique of Hollywood.
yeah, the bait and switch. Kurt Cameron he does the he'll have a really cool picture up. Like Tribulation Force is like Kurt Cameron with his shirt off with a sword going at zombies or something. And then you find out it's a Christian movie and it's like bait and switch. It's like, you dick. He got me twice, actually. He got me with Tribulation Force and he got me with Fireproof.
Yeah, yeah.
And he did it. And Fireproof, he was, what's the one with Kurt Russell when he's the firefighter?
Yeah, with Ron Howard directed.
Yeah, with
Backdraft.
Backdraft. Yeah, he did Fireproof right after Backdraft. So you figured it was an action-packed, like a firefighter episode. No, it was Christian garbage.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, "Damn you, Kurt Cameron, you got me again."
Flirty fishing.
What's that?
Flirty fishy, right? Like
yeah, he was the inventor of. He used to send his followers out, the girls, to do flirty fishing, and they would just. You probably in your dating career you got flirty fished once in a while. You get the girl home, get her on the couch, and she'd be like, she'd show a little bit, but not a lot. And you're thinking there's something wrong here, and all of a sudden she goes, "Do you believe in Jesus?"
Yeah.
It's like you can have some of this if you believe in Jesus. And they weren't giving it out either. They were like, Jesus wouldn't approve of premarital sex.
Yeah. I had a funny story. Now I was in my dumber days in my 20s. I was a Christian. I had a Christian girlfriend, and I was trying to feel her up, and she like stopped me, and then I go, "What are you doing?" She goes, "I need a few seconds to pray." And because she got upset that I was trying to go to second base and whatever, but hey, it worked out. It worked out, right? Because it worked out for me. I didn't get married or anything.
You didn't get married, yeah. I went through that whole Christian thing where I thought that that Jesus was at the end of the bed in a cheerleading costume, cheering. Joe, go deep on that shit. Yeah. What is that? Fill the world with kids, Joe. That's your job.
Well, I'll tell you what. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, that's fine. Multiply. Yeah, be what's it say? Yeah. Multiply. Be merry and multiply, or whatever. Be fruitful and multiply. Yeah.
Be fruitful and multiply. Yeah. What is that fruitful shit? Be fruitful and multiply. That's that's redundant.
Yeah.
Someone should have called them out on that shit.
They're sickos. Yeah, they put all that value on sex, and they put more value on sex than anything, right?
Oh yeah.
They're saying you can't have sex until you get married and all this kind of crazy shit. And,
God watches, and he's like, "Yeah, Joe's doing a good job. He's doing the reverse cowboy now, and God's at the end of your bed watching you."
Yeah.
Jeez.
It's just funny, the whole thing with like how they introduce characters like Santa Claus and
Easter Bunny, Santa Claus, and that sales techniques came into you can see how Christianity and them kind of religions always lead to some kind of sales techniques and Bernays marketing and with total lack of logic. I love the South Park episode of Easter.
Okay, I have to check that out.
Yeah, you get that one. I think all the people that created Easter were just pedophiles, and
Easter egg hunts, and oh man, it's crazy. God, it's just so insane, and so insane how it impacts their culture, like and because that's the Judeo Christianity is the number one thing in America, at least, and yeah.
Yeah. It's just it's pretty much, family values. Is they'll say, well, it's just family values. We cherish those days where we celebrate our religion and its family values. And if we lie to you, that's okay. And no, it's never okay to lie. We go to Kant, and Kant, I believe in Kant, and it's never okay to lie. Even in situations where lying would save your life, it usually turns out that it's never okay to lie. It's just
No.
that. And what does Kant say about that? I can't remember. I'm dull today. I'm just still half asleep.
Huh?
I'm still half asleep.
Yeah. What did you say about what? What was your?
About Kant and never tell a lie. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I was trying to.
Yeah, he just says morally wrong, pretty much. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember now. Kant said never tell a lie because when you lie to someone, you make them a slave to the lie.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And that's what happens. People are slave to lies. You're doing something like if someone was gonna, if an employer or someone, you get this with a lot, where the employer doesn't plan on paying you for a day's work or something, he has you do the work, and then you're a slave to that. You're thinking you're getting paid by the end of the day, and then he makes you a slave to the lie, and it's like you don't get paid. You're like, then you were a real slave. That's how lying works. It always works like that. When you're lying to someone, you make someone a slave to that lie because there's expectations about the lie.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're talking about employers a little bit too, and I don't know if you want to talk about that or the Jay Cutler thing, or I don't know, but like,
yeah,
yeah,
look at the two. Yeah, we looked at the two divorces. Jeff Bezos' divorce, where Christine McKenzie, is that her name? Yeah, I know it's McKenzie, but is it Christine? Uh, correct me if I'm wrong. She got half the company, and she probably didn't even. She didn't really deserve that. Probably it was all Jeff Bezos and the government. The government he got the contract pre-marriage.
Mackenzie Scott, her name is.
Mackenzie Scott. Yeah. Okay, and she just got married, and that's the happiest guy in the world. He was a school teacher. That was,
Must be well hung or something.
and everybody's, oh, she's just getting what she deserves. Now, when you look at Jay Cutler's football player he was with Denver and he was with Chicago, yeah. And he wants half the company. And did you see how they portrayed that? Like he's the worst guy in the world for asking for half.
Yeah.
It's a silly jewelry company or something, but he says, no, that's half mine.
Good for him. I think I would guess he's probably a late MGTOW Cutler because he divorced her. So he kind of did it on his terms, which is good.
Right. He initiated divorce, which gives you a certain edge, and you say what you want when there's two things that happen in divorce. That's why it's not really a 50-50 process. One person gets a divorce, one person gets a settlement or gets a demand from the court or a letter from the court and what they will do. So if you initiate divorce, you're the one that gets divorced. There's only one divorce given in every divorce. Two people don't get a divorce. It's a hard part about when I was trying to explain divorce and how we measure the facts of divorce and everything. That was one thing that people often, it goes over their head. They think, oh, it's 50-50. No, it's not 50-50. From the inception, the person that files for the divorce gets a divorce. The second person gets a what do you call it from the court when this is what you will do.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, these judges are. I'm going through right now with some female people, family members, and yeah, the judge is just totally like on their side. He's a total little bitch. This judge. Yeah, and actually, I think when he's up for re-election, I'm gonna work for the other side. Yeah, I'm gonna reach out to the judge on the other that's going against him.
Yeah,
I'm gonna reach out to him and say, hey, can I help you out? Even if it's passing flyers, I don't give a shit what it is.
Yeah, that's
Got
what.
to get him out of there. Yeah, I don't like this guy. He's a total little bitch, and he does everything for them. And he's threatened me. He's threatened me with some legal actions. Like I don't want to get into it too much, but like he's just a little bitch. What he is.
Yeah. Now that's a good
It's all
idea.
about the lady. It's all about
Yeah.
the lady. Do what's best for the lady. Don't make the ladies mad.
Don't like to make ladies mad. That's the chivalry and the white knighting that goes around in the court system, and that's what MGTOW can do. I mean, we don't ever really talk about it. We should be out there when the judge comes up for reelection or appointment or something. We should be right there to say, no, this guy is a white knight. He's a pig. And call him everything in the book and sort of reverse me to him. Say, and that's what we should do. And about MGTOWs, we can't seem to get anything together ever because there's always an argument about it, isn't there?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just the way the culture is. And then you're telling me this judge is smarter than Schopenhauer?
No, he wasn't. No.
Right. What does Schopenhauer say about women? I mean, this guy's, and you read Schopenhauer too. I was reading some about his compassion for animals and just being a compassionate person. The guy was not like this,
No.
He cared about his world, and he was just being honest about women. And he's absolutely right. Everything he says about them is correct, with how they're cunning and all this kind of stuff. Right. So, yeah. So it just makes me laugh when I see these guys just always giving in to the bait and switch to women.
Yeah, I can't remember the famous. I kind of use it as how I want to be, and it was the casual cruelty thing that came from Swisinger. I can't remember his name now. It's like I said, I'm slow today. I got to get my brain going. Albert Schweitzer, he did casual cruelty. It's like, don't be cruel to animals. And in what he was saying in his philosophy, and he was a medical doctor, he wasn't a philosopher or a psychiatric doctor, but he said, if you watch people and you see how they treat animals, that tells you how they're going to treat you.
Right. That's Schopenhauer. I think that's Schopenhauer.
Yeah, that's a pretty good indication of how they treat other people, because and it shows up in humans as casual cruelty. And we see it all around the internet. Every time someone makes a stupid comment or calls me a neckbeard or says something cruel, it's a little bit of casual cruelty. And I really, really watch for that in people. That's how I choose friends now. That's how I choose people I talk to, because people I talk to don't act that way. It's probably one of the things, once I started doing that, kind of the rift that I had with the other persons and MGTOW. If you're one of those people that just wanted to present themselves, go out there and just be casually cruel to everybody, you couldn't be my friend.
No. Well, and we talked. I mean, you talk about casual cruelty, like a severe thing that women do is abortion. I mean, nobody likes to talk about that because they're a bunch of pussies, but we'll talk about it. And like, how could you do that to?
How can you do that to?
How could you do that? Like, that's the most cruel thing. That's probably. I don't think it gets any more cruel than that.
Yeah, that's like cutting off a limb of your own and saying, I think that was a good idea for a woman, because she's raising it, she's growing it in her stomach. It's her baby. And that's very natural for her. It's not natural for men to have babies. We're not fathers. That's what I always say. But for her, that's probably one of the most psychotic things you could do is kill the child. But in this day and age, you can see, like, it was an unplanned pregnancy, and you could tell that she has no accountability. She has no responsibility towards that child. She was narcissistic or just being really immature about that, and that's where that abortion idea comes from, is born of ignorance. When women spread those legs, they should be accountable for that action.
Yeah,
you're making a decision. You're showing total agency, and that's where I kind of feminism, where if you want, they talk about agency in females all the time. That's what they're talking about, strong girls agency. Uh, uh, but it's your decision 100%. It's not a man's decision. And you're making that decision for yourself because you believe that you're that strong girl. And like I said, I want all women to think that way. I want women to be strong and to take responsibility for their lives and accountability. And that's one thing that you do that men don't do. And to make that decision is a total act of agency. You're saying, I'm that person that I'm like, ooh, I'm that person, and I respect that. But when they say, oh, it's his child, he or he how do they put that all the time? He made me pregnant. No, he did not make you pregnant. You made a decision to get pregnant. To discard that baby like that is a total lack of agency on their part, but they'll fight for that. And it's so hypocritical to me. I mean, back pre-Western time, pre-abortion times and everything, there were abortions. You know what abortion was back before that? Miscarriage.
A miscarriage, yeah. Okay.
When women are really in tune and function with their bodies, if stress presents itself during the pregnancy, the woman's body will discard it. That's an abortion. They will do that naturally if they realize there's no funding, this is a horrible environment, there's war or there's plague or there's this kid doesn't even have a chance. Her body will naturally abort, and it's a miscarriage.
Stress or whatever, yeah. And
in that idea, there's like women have total. Now I've had 5 kids, so I got to witness like they can have those kids on the day they want to have them. They can set their minds to that. They're in total control of their bodies. My wife did it 3 times, and she said, "This is the day I'm going to have it. I swear." And I said, "No, you don't have choice in that." And she said, "No, watch." And she was right all 3 times. So it tells me they have more function. They have more decision over their body than they think they're. But they have to be strong enough to realize that and get that agency. Once they have that agency, they have total control over their body. And it's their body, their choice, their child, everything.
Yeah, they're just given a free pass continually, and they make bad decisions. I mean, because they make bad decisions.
Right, going to the bar and jumping up on the pool table naked and opening that up for every man that may stroll in is not a good decision. It shows total lack of agency. It shows, and we hear this talking about with the guys like, all I want is the one guy that came in, he's like, I want a girl that be chaste and but there's much more that goes to that than just you want a virgin. Mm-hmm. It's not you want a virgin. It's her idea of when she makes those decisions. She's in total control of those decisions. She's showing she's worthy of that marriage. But then down the line, they will change their minds. I mean, and that's total sexual cryptis. Now, that's what they don't understand. She wants baby daddy number 1, 2, 3, and 4. She wants support from the whole community. She wants every man to think that's her baby.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's why they hide their fertility. But it makes sense. Once you start making sense of, I love that there used to be the MRA did it. It said, this is all you need to know, MGTOW. And it was like sexual cryptis, not sexual cryptis. Cryptis is female choice. Cryptis is they hide their fertility. That's one of the things that Google tries to Google's not very bright, and they when they put these things on, they'll try to push sexual cryptis, and they'll say, well, that's female choice, and they mistake crypsis for cryptis, and we could talk about female choice and that stuff, but that's a totally different field. It's not biology, it's sociology. Okay, I woke up.
Yeah.
I had to get going there. It was like Wow.
Yeah, you're up now. Yeah, we got you. Yeah.
Yeah, you got full Joe now.
It's incredible. It's incredible because when you really examine like these great thinkers and how what they're just being honest, right? About like
Right,
today we just have so much dishonesty.
right there.
Women are unicorns. They're unicorns. They could do no wrong, and they're this feminine mystique and Sophia
Yeah, Sophia.
and all this kind of this whole Gnostic thing about this female
Right.
mother god or whatever. I mean, come on.
The Jung's a picture of the archetype female, and she's this.
Yeah.
And there's
And then what's the reality? Just look around you. Just pay attention.
Yeah,
To
the
what's going on.
reality.
Look how they act. Look how they act.
Yeah, walk out your door and look and observe.
Right.
And that's what we're supposed to be doing. An observable universe, like I was talking about with quantum physics. Quantum physics shows you a few things that and it's never been wrong. It's like shows you about sociology. Just go out and observe the universe, but observe the universe in the way it's supposed to be observed, from the nucleus out to the atom. And when you interact, you're knocking things around. You're changing the universe to your observations. So go out and observe the universe, but be true to yourself and be true to observations. Is be honest with yourself and critique your work. And if you're right, it'll stand up against anything. And I'm right about my what I say here. And you notice nobody comes around to argue with me.
No. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that you have probably like who's ever listening to this is like, you're talking about the top 1% of intelligence, right? If they're actually listening to it.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that, that we're, I'm not, it's just we're just telling truth, and so the people listening here are, you should have like, right? If the world was intelligent, you'd have thousands, millions of people listening, but it's just not. We're dumbed down culture, and but at least we got 10, 15 people here listening that are intelligent enough to understand what we're saying.
Right. Yeah. You should. I have an argument about it's not an it's an ongoing thing about the sophists when Plato and Socrates. Now you don't know if Socrates was real, and you don't know if the sophists were real. What Nietzsche did with that idea is he took an argument and he purposely displayed the argument the wrong way, so people can see. He'll argue against the argument then and see how to untangle rhetorics. With the sophists, I think Plato or Plato's brother, which was responsible for writing a lot of it, or however it worked out. We don't know how it worked out where this gets written, but I think the sophists were examples of how people are going to be crafty and cunning, and you have to pre-temper yourself to these arguments. And that's what MGTOW does. You pre-temper yourself to the arguments. That way, when the arguments come to you, you have the right answer for them.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of like Marcus Aurelius, what he was saying too, kind of, right? Like how you approach the world. You kind of assume people are going to be jerks, and then
you kind of assume people watch their language and watch how they say things. And he would say things like, one of the things that you notice it's easy to pick up on is like, say it like it is, not like you automatically notice when people are trying to present some kind of fucked up Christian rhetorics, and it's usually them that are doing it, or they believe in some god or some entity or something.
Right.
You can see because it doesn't present itself right. He says, don't call it meat. We're eating the dead flesh of animals. And you can see in that statement, you have to say things exactly right. And you can automatically spot when people are being fallacious. But it's your responsibility as a MGTOW, I think, and especially if you're over 40. And I think over 40 is a good time to start doing research on philosophers because you're done with all the childish shit. And you
mean Tia Tequila and Sarah Jessica Parker are not good philosophers?
I've never known of. There's only one good female philosopher, I wouldn't. Ayn Rand is not a very good female philosopher because it's just written garbage. But Hannah Ardant was the only female philosopher that I could say that she really had a philosophy. But she was a writer for the New York Times covering Eichmann trial and the Jews at that time. And she does, what's her famous book? The Human Condition. And it's important that you read The Human Condition. So not Ayn Rand. Ayn Rand did The Going Galt. And that's when I say that they all just do fantasy fiction to back their ideas. No, Hannah Ardant was not doing fantasy fiction. She was saying this is in the real world. This is happening, and this is how it is. But short of that, there's very few. What was the Beauvoir? Was Simone Beauvoir was Sartre's girlfriend, but she wasn't a very good philosopher.
Right.
And Camus, Sartre wanted Camus to bang that, hit that, and you remember his answer. It was, "That's not what I am."
Yeah,
that's what when we're presented with the PUA saying you just got to go out there and hit it and quit it, and our answer should be just like Camus. It's like that, but that's not what I am. And there's a whole philosophy that runs from that statement.
I thought about what you said about like other people want you to be what they want you to be. You know what I mean? They don't really care. They just want you to fit into their mold of what they, you know what I mean? What their expectations are. And then that's a dangerous person to be around.
Yeah, that's what Christians, whatever their expectations are, and their God always agrees with them. Whatever them expectations are, that's what you have to be. That's sort of slavery, isn't it? Like,
it's absolutely slavery. And then they throw all these like contradictions in there, like, you know, in the Old Testament it's like an eye for an eye, and then Jesus, then the next New Testament it's like, oh, you've heard it before, an eye for an eye, but I'm here to tell you that no, turn the other cheek. So they just throw all these contradictions. There's tons of them. I mean, you know, and all these contradictions just confuses the shit out of people, you know. And the whole thing is just a scam. But the whole God thing's a scam. This whole, a God that's going to judge you after you die. I mean, that's horrifying.
That's horrifying. You're going to tell little kids, you can tell little children of 8, 9 years old when they start catechism and everything that you're going to hell. It's like, that is so cool. Yeah. There's a place called hell. Sorry about that. I bought a new hat. Can you see that okay on here? It's green, but I was wondering if it's going to show up against the green screen.
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah,
but it's not. It doesn't have that softness yet to it, so it's kind of sticking up.
Like a Rastafarian.
Yeah.
You can join Bob Marley cult.
Yeah, it's driving me nuts when it pops back up.
Yeah.
But
it's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah,
that's they're going to hell and they have to suffer, and it's cool.
Yeah. Even as an old person, even as an old person, though, to have that thought in your head, you know, like it's you know, you're gonna, you know, you're dying or you're facing death, and it's like, oh, now I'm going to be judged. I mean, come on.
Oh yeah, I'm being judged, and that, you see, I did a huge study on. I mean, when my mom was dying, and at that time I was still dating. That was back pre-2004 and something. And she was a lovely girl and everything. I don't have no. That's the one that I say, leave on your own terms. When you do decide to become a MGTOW, leave on your own terms, and that gives you closure on it. And that's the one that, and her mother was dying, and I spent a lot of time between those two people inside of a hospice area, and hospice areas have libraries, right? Mm-hmm. And they had a huge library there. So I sat all day just reading up on death and what happens. And then it changed my view on a lot of things. I can't remember how many books I would sit there with the lady. I'd have big stacks of books because I was going back and forth on what each one. And I realized that we don't know, and I don't know, and a lot of these people, I'm making the observation from all the rooms that surrounded the library on how each person acted when they were dying, and then I would go and try to find out more about that person and why they were so upset about their death, and some of them screamed out, and some of them died very stoically. And one of the things I noticed is people have regrets, and they have that religion that's I don't want to go to hell, and they're so upset about that. And it's almost a cruelty to let them die thinking that they're going to hell because she gave a guy a blowjob and 30 years ago. And she's going to hell. The semen-filled bathrooms.
Yeah. You stole that candy bar when you were 10 years old.
Yeah, she stole a candy. I heard that one. There's an old lady. She was rather nice, and I was talking to her. She said, "I don't understand." And at that time, I was a counselor, anyways, so I'd go around and talk to people and try to ease their pain. And I wanted to find out more about what happens at that. And she was upset about she stole some candy when she was a kid. And that was the worst thing she ever did. I said, "Lady, if that's the worst thing you've done in your life, then you're on your peaks, your tops."
Yeah. Well, that American Gods, remember that show, American Gods?
Oh, American Gods, yeah.
And there was a lady that died, and she did like one thing. I lied to my father when I was 5 years old. That was like the only bad thing she did, and then she got like welcomed into this paradise. I mean, just whatever.
I see the main
show,
character.
But they're just the world just wants you to think that there's this magical heaven, or like you said, another way around, this destructive hell, but they don't even exist. Both don't exist.
Right.
And if you think they do, you haven't done enough self-introspection or study.
Yeah, you haven't done enough self-introspection. No, I can't say,
absolutely not.
I'm not in a position to say whether there is or whether I often give the example of I know what it was like before I was alive, and that was nothingness. So I just returned to that, and I wasn't hurting, and I wasn't in pain, and it wasn't a human pain involved with that. From the moment it's the exception you enter this world, you're always in pain. There was never a moment where you're not in pain. So when you think about it, when Camus would think about that, it's like, this sucks. And what I can remember before I was here is there was just nothing, the absence of. I think we lost Joey. Now you have to look at the full view of all my prettiness. Joey be right back in. I'm sure he's just changing computers or something. Yeah. Well, let me add him back there.
Oh, sorry, I lost you. Sorry.
Yeah. California kicked you out?
Yeah.
Or did Sarah Jessica Parker find out where you were?
Yeah. No, you were hitting on a good point, probably. That's why, because I just thought about what you said. Like you said, I think that's the most comfort that I've gotten from anybody is what you said about, before we were born, everything was good. Everything was, you didn't think about, everything. So that's the best, I think the best explanation of what happens after you die. It's going to be,
there was no,
that's a good way to have peace of mind. And it's given me peace of mind just thinking about that. Yeah, because it makes sense. It's logical.
It makes sense. Yeah, it's logical. Otherwise, if there was this other position, then you would remember something from the other position. And it just makes sense that I was at peace. I was a peaceful little whatever electronic. I was a signal, an electron traveling around the universe in total comfort and joy, or not even joy, the lack of all human everything. And that's a pretty comforting idea. Because like I said, we're in pain all the time. When are you not in pain when you're here on Earth? You're always in pain. There's never, if you think about your body, do that introspection. That's half my part of doing an introspection is thinking about how you feel and spotting those pains and taking care of those. And the more you reduce those, is the better you'll be a happier person. But you have to spot them and reduce them. As men, we don't do that.
Right. Harm. That's reduce suffering. I think that's was it Schopenhauer was talking about that, reducing the suffering.
Very few.
That's Schopenhauer. That's Schopenhauer that was talking about that, right? Reduce suffering. Yeah, and one of the ways that I reduce suffering is just making sure I get enough rest.
Yeah,
and conserving my energy. Conserving my energy. Yeah.
Don't go. I mean, sometimes something you want in a real sense, like running, it's going to cause pain. If you like running,
right. Don't overdo it. Don't overdo it. Physical I tell you what, not overdoing it with physical activity. It's very unevolved. It's very stupid. You're not supposed to do it. You see, if people overexert themselves lifting weights and all this kind of stuff, and I don't even lift weights anymore. I'm done. I'm pretty much done lifting weights. So, I do some push-ups every now and then, but I used to lift heavy weights, and I forget it. It's too much stress on your body as you get older. It's not healthy. I don't think it's healthy.
Right.
But just Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
Heidi was talking about Luciferians and that stuff, and a very good book to read is what was the guy that he did the writing for Timothy Leary, the Luciferian Timothy Leary. It was oh God, what was the guy's name?
Crowley.
Crowley, yeah, he did the writing for Timothy Crowley too, and Leary and Crowley. He was a Jewish guy, and it's very good. It's a common book when you start reading that stuff, but it's very good. It tells you about what's that?
Maybe it wasn't Crowley. I don't know. I guess
it was the Philosopher's
He gets accused.
Yeah, the Philosopher's Stone.
The Philosopher's Stone?
Yeah, I can't remember what the guy's name was.
Okay.
But he gives you ideas in that. Ideas, and they're very existential ideas, and it's not all about changing. Is
that Harry Potter shit or no?
The Philosopher's Stone is it's about
Timothy. You're talking about Timothy Leary, the professor at Harvard, or professor, the LSD guy, or whatever?
Yeah, the LSD guy. I'm confusing the LSD guy. Well, he was accused of being a Luciferian too, and he was. But Timothy Crowley.
Well, that's just the same. That's just the other side of Christianity. That's all it is.
It's
just, they don't make it into. Yeah, people make it into this. Ooh, they got these magical powers, and oh my God, the black magic. And,
the black magic.
It's just a flip side of Christianity. That's all. It's just
right, and it's just it's just something that they believe.
Like the checkerboard. Yeah, the black and white checkerboard. That's what they do. They all play off each other.
In that book. Right there, you can see how the dialectic is on that. But
right. They're trying.
And they're having discussions over what is true and what is not true.
Right, and it's all they're both fantasy fiction. They're both destructive.
Yeah, let me get that book for you real quick.
I don't know, whatever. I guess I just try to stay neutral on these things and don't even pay attention to these idiots. Either side.
I don't even know if I'm right about the Philosopher's Stone.
Timothy Leary, yeah.
Blah 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 blah.
What year was the book?
Yeah, it was about alchemy and
okay.
What was his name?
See, I think it's all just a bunch of nonsense, really. The whole thing it's all fantasy fiction. You're absolutely right. Just like the UFO thing, it's fantasy fiction too. There's no UFOs.
Right. Yeah.
There's no UFOs. There's no aliens. They don't exist. It's a bunch of nonsense. There's no evidence. It's just stupid. I don't know who puts out this stuff. I don't know what the hell they just want to. I don't know what they're trying to accomplish.
Right. Yeah. They're trying to explain the world that they live in.
Right. Okay.
And they're not doing it correctly when you do it like that. You start making up things to explain. Mm-hmm. And that's why I know Christianity and those, they believe in that if we just make a world that's better, it'll just be better by default. And then they go on with that. But better by default, we know, I think any philosopher will tell you that we know that anytime you veer from the truth in nature, at least naturally, you're not going to have a good time with that. Regarde, I can't remember his name. Something Regarde. Let me go back. They're not mentioning him. Oh, no, I'm not getting it. Oh, Israel Regarde, the Philosopher's Stone. You can look it up. Israel Regarde, the Philosopher's Stone. He wrote for Aleister Crowley. And it's a very good book to read. And you might be uncomfortable. I know because of my Christian heritage.
Oh, English writer. I see. Yeah, Israel Regarde. I see.
Israel Regarde.
He's an occultist. He's an occultist. Oh my God!
Yeah, he's an
Ooh,
occultist.
it's a scary word. Ooh, what a scary word.
But if you read that
ceremonial magician.
yeah, if you read that book, there's a lot in that book. He was very intelligent and a very good writer.
I'm sure he was.
And that's why he was picked by these people to write for him. And the Muslims wanted to kill him. They put a warrant out.
Oh, really?
And the Jewish people wanted to kill him too, because they regarded him as the ultimate perpetuator of what was going to bring the Antichrist into the world. But if you sit down, and you're going to be a little uncomfortable with reading that stuff because of your Christian heritage, but just get by that. And that's what taught me how to get by being an atheist. I don't even know if I'm a real atheist. I'm more like, I just don't know. And there's no way I can know. And I was born onto a world where I'm not privileged with that information.
Yeah. I'm getting yelled at here for butting in.
For who's that?
Ludwig von Beethoven.
Okay, yeah.
I'm cutting you off too much, I guess.
No, I think usually we have a good dialogue, and you help me keep going, and I help you keep going when you're trying to get to a point. That's why we do this together. Yeah. So that's a very good book to read. I think everybody should read The Philosopher's Stone by Israel Regardie. If you want to be if you choose Luciferianism, just be aware that that's more of a religion rather than a philosophy.
Well, he says here, you're either a follower of Jesus or you're a follower of the devil. It's either or. No, it's not. Absolutely not. That's the stupidest thing. That's one of the absolute dumbest worldviews that is pushed upon us right there. What he just said. So now I don't feel bad about cutting you off. So because I know that comment came from an idiot. So
there's no either or in all these things. There's a lot of gray in between, and you got to cut through the gray and start. And that's why we do scientific critique on these things, and we do it in a group setting like this, where everybody can interact. And if we're going to do a critique like that, you have to bring an actual prepositional statement. You can't make a statement unwarranted. You have to do a prep. So I'd ask them to do a prepositional statement that makes sense, that's backed up by prepositional logic, and then present it in a form of a critique. You can do a critique. I don't care if you critique me and say I'm wrong, but you have to do it in prepositional logic then, and then we can enjoy the discourse that comes from that.
Yeah, and I shouldn't make fun of the guy because that's what I used to believe too, right?
Right. Yeah.
So,
this is what happens on the internet when they say, "Oh, people are triggery and people are this and liberals are this and the Trumpites are all triggery and everything." No, because they don't know how to argue correctly. And when we critique things, if you want to bring your point, bring it in a prepositional statement, and that's called what is that called? Symbiotics, and you just bring it right and correct and be correct, be as correct as you can. And then if you say something that's so correct, I have to believe it because I am a philosopher.
That could be Kirk Cameron and
I called Kirk Cameron.
That could be a Kirk Cameron troll account right there. He's saying now there is no gray. It's one or the other. At this point, all the world has been exposed to the truth. Jesus, the Lord of Lords. Now make your choice: follow God through Jesus or face damnation.
It's like there's always this: you're gonna die, Joe, and you're gonna go to hell and damnation, and they're gonna throw you. No, they're not. No, that's ridiculous. God, like I did that whole thing once. I rather think that if there is a God, he would enjoy my truth better because I do it correctly, and he would have to. It would be if you give God or this supposed God thing, whatever. If you give him a logic and it's undisputable, you would say then it would have to be his logic too.
Yeah, I mean the way I look at it is just a bunch,
and just saying something exists and believe me.
I mean, the way I look at it is just a bunch of rich people got together and whoever had the most resource, they all got together. So let's make up this God. And and they spread it across different religions. Christianity just consolidated all these religions. If you read Christ Conspiracy by D.M. Murdoch, it will break a lot of stuff down for you. She's an unbelievable writer, and she passed away about 10 years ago. But what it is the thing is they're just trying to. It's just they got together all these rich people, and they wanted to preserve their resources and then expand their resources. And so if you create this God, and then people follow it, and then now you can control masses of populations.
Now MGTOW Misfit makes a good point. We talk about this all the time, and I think Jordan Peterson, before he was an idiot, and it was talked about it too. It's the difference between good and evil, and we know what good is. The Supreme Court justice that was the philosopher in the 1940s and 50s, Sir Oliver Holmes, he tells us what good is, and good is what's most for most people. When he examined good, it was like what is best for the most people, and that would be good. And when we examine evil in the way that they examine evil, it's a lot of people mistake tragedy for evil, like a asteroid hit a small child and cause pain, and that's tragedy and everything. What evil is what the Germans did to the Jews inside of Auschwitz. Like there's senseless labor, and they had bags of salt. The bags of salt leaked through and they put them on their backs, and then they're out in the hot sun and carrying bags of salt that's leaking on them and dehydrating them, and then they carry them over to one area. And then they go, okay, now move them back over to the other area that you just brought them to. So there's a perpetual amount of work that would kill them. And it was a useless work. And when we look at evil, useless works that cause suffering are evil. Now, once you start thinking about that in the sense of good, what's best for the most, and useless works of suffering, it becomes two different. Good and evil are not the same things. They're not on the same field. Does that make sense to everybody? Does that make sense to you, Joey?
Yeah.
Good and evil are not opposites of each other, and they're not on the same field. If you look at evil and good, they're two different ideas altogether. And a lot of things are like that. Once you start examining these things, you can say, if you were a Christian, and I was a Christian, I'd often say good and evil were antonyms to each other. And then I really thought about it one day, and I realized that good and evil are not antonyms. It's like love, and when I explained love and hate are not antonyms to each other. They're not opposites. They're part of the same group. And once you look at now, good and evil would start probably forming. When you look at this thing, it probably falls within a group of ideas. And I don't know, good, evil, suffering, happiness, joy. Not even that. Good and evil would be more of metaphysics. A group is within metaphysics, and I could probably develop that group if given a time, and then we could talk about that group of words and stay on the field there. But good and evil right away, when you think about love, the opposite of love is envy. So to say love and hate, and humans do this all the time. We just accept little things like that. Love and hate are if you, and that's why we MGTOWs, if you don't love the women, you must hate them. No, love and hate are not antonyms. The opposite of love is what's the word I'm looking for when you just don't care?
Apathy.
Not apathy. We say it all the time here, but I'm a little slow today.
We just don't care.
You just don't. It doesn't bother you.
Indifference.
You're indifferent to it. The opposite of love is indifference.
Yeah.
And that's not as bad as people think it is it? When you think Joe's indifferent to apples, he just doesn't think about apples. That's not bad, is it? MGTOWs are indifferent to love. MGTOWs are indifferent to that thing. It's not as bad as saying they are hateful. Saying
right, like romance, like romance, like romance.
Yeah, it's a hyperbolic statement. Now, when you say good and evil, you're doing the same thing. You're doing a hyperbolic statement that relies on the evil, because evil is a different thing than what you think it is. Evil is just not a metaphysical. It doesn't have no characters or no quality or no properties.
Mm-hmm.
It's an act. It's an act of.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what study thyself to approve yourself a MGTOW, man. I steal that from the Bible, by the way.
Yeah. The Bible's tricky though, because they have a lot of good stuff in there, but it's just a made up book. You got to read it as a what do you call it? As a fictional book. That's what.
Yes, you have to read it as a fictional book. That's
right. Dark comedy. Yeah, it's a dark comedy. Dark comedy is what
fictional
it is.
Dark comedy, and
right. That's exactly what it is. It's a fictional dark comedy, if you were to categorize it.
Yeah, and it's interesting. Life's more interesting when you start thinking about things like a MGTOW would. Studying things, really getting down to the root of what are words. Words have meanings, and when these guys flippantly just use words in a word salad around,
right?
And I've been accused of that because not understanding what somebody's saying doesn't mean they're wrong. And that's what I get a lot. Most people don't understand what I'm saying, but I've done this research. I align my words very good. I did this for the Army. I was a writer. I did this for, when I was in the Army. I was a wordsmith and a linguistical wordsmith, and that's what I did. I wrote propaganda articles, and so when I use a word, I use it very specifically, but not understanding what I say doesn't mean I'm wrong. That just means that means you're ignorant.
yeah
You're ignorant of. Ignorance not too bad. Everybody's ignorant of certain things. I mean, can you think of something I'm not good at? There's a lot of things I'm not good at. I'm not good.
I don't know.
Yeah, cricket and car mechanics. I'm not good at it. I hate car mechanics. I'm not good at fixing cars. I'm ignorant of a lot of things, how cars work, because I'm indifferent to cars. I don't hate them. I don't like. It's not something I do. And a lot of times I get like, oh man, you suck at car mechanics. You must be stupid. It's like, no, I just suck at one thing in my life. I can't have all the qualities of everything.
I got taken for a ride the other day, car mechanic. Yeah, it's kind of annoying. But yeah. But I hear what you're saying. Yeah, it's an evolution. It's a process. You just got
process. Life's a process.
Continue to learn, and because it's hard. It's hard to break free from that one because you're born with it. Because most people they just accept the beliefs that they were born into, right? They think a high percentage of people.
Yeah, no, that's where I give.
They don't veer off. They don't veer off what their parents believed or their father.
I give pardoning to people that are born as Christians because I pardon them for that because I do know what it's like to be born as a Christian and think that way. And I remember the day when I was sitting down there and reading Israel Gardy's Philosopher's Stone, and it's like it was almost like I was believing all that garbage and thinking, I'm going to go to hell for reading this thing. And then when after I got over and nothing bad happened, no bad karma happened to me, it was like, yeah, this puts a question mark on that, doesn't it? And then
you check out that book.
Yeah, you can get over, and that's why I say earlier in the thing, you have to, when you're looking at how sophism, you look at it like it's gonna do something for you, it's going to temper you to what people are going to say that are ridiculous. So enjoy the sophism, look for the mistakes, be a workman of that, and then try to detangle like Socrates was, like Plato was. They detangled the sophist bullshit. They You do that like Nietzsche would do that. Nietzsche often made up characters that said stupid things so he can untangle the stupid things that he was saying. And it shows a bit of human intelligence too. It shows how intelligent we are. We can actually sit at home, and I do this a lot. I can do both sides of the argument in my head while I'm thinking about something. And that's an amazing skill, isn't it, that humans can do?
Yeah. Well, we're the apex predator.
And that shows you that, Descartes talked about that. We have two sides of our brains. We can do two arguments at once. We're split brain people that are connected. We don't, and that tells you right there, MGTOWs are right. You don't need another partner. There is no magic connection to another person that fulfills you. You already have that. There's two sides of your brain. There's two people in there.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I'm looking at the Israel Regarde book. That's not even that's a 84-page book. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it was probably short. It's based on a brief or something, and I always thought it was a little longer than that. But
this was 84 pages on PDF.
84 pages on PDF.
Yeah, I have to check it out. No, but you're right. It's we're created with this worldview as Christians that like there's this metaphysical devil that's going to get you, and it just it makes life more complicated than it has to be, I think.
Right, it makes life. It's 204 pages.
Oh, 204. Okay, I must have a different thing.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It was 204 pages.
Oh, okay, 204. Okay. All right, I probably have a different version here or something.
Yeah, there's probably a short version. You can look, and if it's done by a different author, and he's just doing you the overview.
Yeah, that's maybe what it is. Oh, okay. Now, well, I don't know. I'm showing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 chapters. How many? I don't know. Okay, well.
Oh, I know.
I'll have to check it out.
There's one with a. What do you call that? There's one with. I know I've done this problem with somebody before. Why he had thought it was 1 page and I thought it was 204, because there's two versions of it where Regarde gives all the information that about where he gets his ideas from. So that takes a lot more pages in the book. It's abridged. You get on a bridge.
Oh, okay.
And if you get an unabridged version, then it's going to be shorter, I suppose. I think that's the way it would go. Someone correct me if I'm wrong on that. You get an abridged version or non-abridged version. I can't remember which way that goes.
No, it's good to explore that stuff though. But yeah, but I think that's what they do to keep the fantasy fiction going, is to present these two sides. Like,
right? Yeah, you keep what you're really doing is Christian apologetics, and that's why I'm so against Christian apologetics. Once you start arguing about a devil, the existence of God must be real.
Right.
You're accepting their apologetics. It's like starting an argument. Apologetics is starting an argument with the preconception of this idea. It's like begging the question. There's this idea begins with, so that's how Christians lead you on. There's always this idea that there's a God, and you argue from that point. That's a wrong argument. That's an apologetic. You actually become apologetic to them. It's like every time you bring it up, they'll become apologetic with, why does God kill little children, or why do dogs rip apart little children? And in countries, hyenas eat human bodies in the desert. Right. It's a horrible thought. Why does God permit that? And then they'll become apologetic for God about doing that. So this whole apologetics argument is a valid, and Christians, they study apologetics so they can do that to you. because they know that's the hinge pin of which they can rely on, and it's
yeah. And the ones at the top are making a lot of money, keeping that
yeah, the
scam
ones at
going.
the top that do the apologetics the best,
Mm-hmm.
they make more money because they give people ideas on how to protect their fake thoughts.
Right. Right. They got these mega churches and
The mega churches, yeah, we got one
Bill
right.
Hybels and
I am
Lee Strobel,
so,
all these guys, like
I'm
Kenneth
so gonna
Copeland. Yeah.
like this year. I used to go down to some of these mega churches and just kind of show up and like
Yeah.
it was because it's funny. Yeah,
Hysterical.
that'd be like all these people like oh and putting their hands up, and I'd just be like laughing, and it's like
Well, I was one of those guys though in my 20s.
yeah,
My
yeah,
20s, that's 20 years ago.
yeah. It's so funny when you see it, and then like if I do get in a conversation, I'm like, no, that's not true. My
Yeah.
buddy hates
Yeah.
when I do this. I'll be like, let's go down to this, and there's a mega church. They use the park once in a while down here, and it's like,
Sure.
let's go down there and just fuck with them.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you're helping them. You're actually helping
Yeah, you're helping them out. We break through their ignorance, the
them.
veil of
Right.
ignorance. Who talked about the veil of ignorance?
Uh, Plato, I don't know.
Yeah, there's a veil of ignorance. You have to help them break through that. I can't remember who that.
I think it was an 18-year-old YouTuber talking about Illuminati.
The
No, just kidding.
Illuminati.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to figure it out. Yeah, Illuminati. That's another one. That's just another like form of the devil, right? There's this group that whatever that yeah. I don't know the veil of the. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, I have to look that up.
Yeah, there's a
Veil
whole
of
philosophy
ignorance.
around the veil of ignorance. The
Yeah, yeah,
original
yeah.
position was the veil of ignorance. That's Rawls. Rawls' veil of. I know this stuff. Okay, I just
Oh,
had.
okay.
Yeah, Rawls. Rawls was very good. If you get a chance to read Rawls will give you the original position, and it starts with the veil of ignorance. It's like
Mm-hmm.
if you're going to take this position, you have to have no position and start your argument from there. And we're talking about social justice. Rawls's ideas of social justice. One of his major themes was don't pre-bias it, is what you're saying. When you take an original position, take a position of a person that doesn't know nothing of this thing.
Good. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you don't have any preconceived notions or
You don't
whatever.
have any preconceived notions. That's what the veil of ignorance is. But I used it kind of wrongly in that. If
It's hard to do, though. It's hard to do.
Right. It's hard. Yeah. So you're trying to teach a Christian not to use a veil of ignorance. Come to this argument correctly. Don't come with the presupposition that the Bible's right.
Right. Or that it's the word of God. That's the danger Christians get in. They assume that it's actually right. So that's actually God speaking through.
No, if you want to get to
writers.
the correct truth, you have to come with the original position. What is the original position? The original position is the veil of ignorance. Where humans were just standing there going, "What are we doing here?" It's like we're trying to live on a hostile planet, and start from that position with your arguments, and then develop them out like that. That was Rawls. If you get a chance to read Rawls is really good. Harvard professor. He died about 90 years old. He studied his whole life on
How you spell it out, Rawls?
Rawls. It's Rawles. Rawls.
Okay. Just yeah, that's it. Okay.
I think it's
all right.
Yeah. If you put it in Rawls social justice, then Rawls will explain social justice to you, and he has 3 positions on that. Novak. When you get Rawls, you're going to get Rawls and Novak. Now we know Novak from Kuhn and Feyerabend too. So Novak kind of comes in on this postmodernism thing. So it goes side of Kuhn, Feyerabend, Novak, Rawls, then Novak. If you're looking at the order of that.
Okay.
Very good stuff to read, and it'll teach you a lot about. It teaches you a lot about postmodernism, how to think about postmodernism. In a what's called the philosophy of science. It's like how to be correct about things that you talk about, and how to be scientifically correct. Yeah, a lot of good books to read. Just tons of them. And
Does Kirk Cameron have any good books?
Yes, Kirk Cameron has the book of Fireproof and Tribulation Force. It's like he was a fake fireman, and his wife was cheating on him, and he's like, she wanted a divorce, and he was like, you can't have a divorce because God wouldn't allow that. And then he wanted her fat, naked, and pregnant in the kitchen, and he's like, that's the way God wants things, is you fat naked, and he'll stand at the end of our bed and like cheer us on in that cute little cheerleading outfit that he has. It's like go deep.
These Christian women have such a good out. Like if they want to get divorced, and like they could just say, he wasn't like Jesus enough.
Yes, he was a sinner. Well, that's a good idea of how men, all us men are bad, all us men are sinners, all us men are, doesn't that come from the Christian idea? And then she wants an out now. So, and society wants that for her. And it's like, wouldn't it become very like available to them just to say all men are sinners? You're all bad. And it's like, so that's where that comes from. Does that make more sense?
Yeah, it's sick. It's just so sick.
It's sick.
Like you're born with sin.
Ooh,
as a baby, like an innocent baby, like doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, and that's what's more of that apologetics to back up their argument about anything wrong they do is that God wanted that.
Yeah.
And you must, and that's just world fallacy too. You must have did something to deserve your suffering.
Yeah. So MGTOW, we don't want that. We don't want the suffering. We want harm reduction. We want an easy life. You're aiming for easy life, pretty much, a high quality life, which is a high quality life. Right. Little suffering or no suffering, and you shouldn't have to suffer. I think SFM said it. I heard him on a stream once.
Right, and that's the ease of life. That think about it, what it was like before you were alive. You want that. Right. I don't want to be happy. I don't want to be sad all the time. I don't want to be suffering. I don't want pain. I just want
Joseph Campbell. Follow your bliss.
Yeah, I want to sit here and read a book and be marginally comfortable in this world.
Yeah, Joseph Campbell. Remember, follow your bliss. Remember,
bliss.
I was getting into him, and he's absolutely correct. I drove cross country this last month, right? Mm-hmm. And now I'm having second thoughts of being on the West Coast. And you know what? I think I might just drive all the way back. And
you could do that
because I can do that. I have the resources. I save my money. I have the education. Whatever I can pursue. I'm not worried about future income or anything. And
Texas would be good for you.
I think the Christian cringe might be a little too thick over there, but I you know what I do? I miss those parks. But I guess Austin. I might stop in Austin and get some or check out the nature stuff going on there. But I really miss those parks in upstate New York, man.
Right. I have a whole. I was gonna make a video and just kind of share it with you guys. I got a whole. Going through the park the other day, I actually got a chance to film it on my phone. Yeah. Everything. And it's like, man, you could just see the happiness and joy. It's like, this is so beautiful. Look at this.
That's right.
I mean, there's things in the parks in my area that are just absolutely fabulous. We have granite walls that come down to the river and these bridges that go over that. They did a really good job in the parks in our area. And they put a bike path that's 21 miles long down the river, and you can go forever and look around, and there's just a million different little places where you just meet people, and it's just great. It's just so wonderful that you can't have if you're not happy and you're not smiling and everybody waves to everybody, and it seems like a better planet to me.
No question, because I'm stuck in concrete jungle here. And listen, it's sunny, it's 75. I mean, whatever, right? Yeah. People are happy because of that, and it creates for a good culture, and But at the same time, I'm not seeing those turtles. I'm not seeing those bluebirds, redbirds, yellowbirds. You know what I mean? I'm not seeing the. You know what I mean? I'm not seeing that, and I'm like, okay, well, what do I want? What's better for me?
Yeah.
So
things to do. Once you start looking at things scientifically, like why does the flora on this side of the river look different than the flora on the other side of the river. It's like you start doing those little research projects, and then it expands from there. And then you get out with what are the insect life over here? What's the insect life over here? And how do the beetles look different on this side? And why do the beetles look different on this side? And it's like it gives you a whole different outlook on life. And you can even looking at the rocks and the trees and the way the river cut into the granite and the what we have rock shale here. So it cut into the rock shale in a very unique way, and it exposes time.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, your mind is, when you're down there, your mind is like it's in a million different places, but you're always in that same place. But it's like, what's that?
There's always something new. That's one thing. When I was walking the parks, like I'd go probably every day or every other day, and you always find something new. Like every time. Like you said, you go to the same park. Like lakes. I used to go to this lake in upstate and Green Lakes State Park in Fayetteville, New York. It's like every time I go there, same place. Every day, every other day, and every day you find something different. You see a turtle or whatever. You see a squirrel doing something stupid, or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So that's the beauty of nature. It's like an adventure. It's an adventure. Yeah, it's pretty exciting. And the people in the city they wouldn't understand that because they haven't, they're just living in this concrete jungle, and it's just totally different. Yeah.
Yeah, perfect.
I mean, you got the beaches in Southern California. It's really nice.
Oh yeah,
but there's nothing like being in like you said, like where you are in the Cleveland area or upstate New York, or being in nature. Yeah, there's nothing. The Adirondacks. There's nothing better.
Yeah, anywhere outside of Cleveland is great. You got like 7-8 rivers that you can go to and follow, and they usually have bike paths, and you can. It's like, man, that picture in back. That was one of my pictures. That was an award-winning picture. Matter of fact, Google gave me a award for that. That picture right there will show up on your back screen once in a while. It should show up with my name on it. And it was like an interesting little area there. I was like, wow, look at this.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, it's good. And I took some good shots at.
You got the trestle running over, and you got it's like, wow, nice. The bridges and the trestles, and it's just beautiful.
I drove. One of the best findings I had this year was there was a red tree, right? Like it must have been the shedding of the tree or whatever, but it just stood out. It was like the only red, tree in the whole.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if I showed you a picture of it. I don't know, but it's like, that's pretty unique. I don't know what caused that, but yeah.
Right. Yeah. I like going down we got cottonwoods that were absolutely the size of this room. And there's wow, when you see a cottonwood the size of this room, and it's like they'll usually try to preserve them then and put a little area around them. But I was like, wow, that's pretty spectacular.
Mm-hmm.
You can take one day I was like, it takes me like 16 steps to get around this cottonwood, and other flowers. I'm fascinated with paper maples. You probably got a lot of paper maples up in New York, but here you don't see them all that much. It's like, it's like, wow, look, it's a paper maple, and all the bark is like paper. It's like peeling off, and it's like, wow, that's cool.
Yeah. You got to find your spot. I think what you said made a lot of sense, though. Like sometimes you just fit in where you were born. You kind of fit in.
You kind of fit in there, yeah. It's like
communication's easier.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I lived somewhere where there's more people like me. Here, there's not a lot of people like me. It's well, I'll just say it is. This area is Hispanic, and there's white people and Irish people. There's like we probably account for like 1% of this area or something. Not even 1%. And there's not a lot of people that think like me and walk like me and act like me and talk like me, and that's important. I wish that I lived in like I know Washington has a lot of Irish people, and Texas has a lot of Irish people too in certain areas, and Texas or Boston area. I don't know if I'd want to live in the Boston area,
Yeah.
but sometimes I just wish there was a community of people like myself, and
Yeah,
there's nothing
yeah.
wrong with thinking like that. I mean, that's what everybody wants, to be around people that think and act and talk and interact like themselves.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
It's the right of affiliation that we used to have. We don't have the right of affiliation anymore.
Yeah, communication is easier. It's just it's wavelength, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. People that
Saying it.
communicate with you better, because they understand.
Yeah. And there's a respect thing too. It's like,
yeah,
it's like you have a, it's like a respect thing. If you have a
right.
similar
A lot of times Irish people talk in imagery. It's our original language of our original language of Gaelic is imagery. We present imagery for ideas. And with you, it's like you talk a lot with your body language and your hands.
Yeah.
And Italians, 80% of understanding is body language. And it's like other groups don't talk like that. You can't get that same understanding. And with Irish people, it's when we talk in imagery.
Right. And Italians are very obnoxious too, and people don't understand that about, like, we're not being.
Yeah.
Like if I'm obnoxious to another Italian person, it's like they laugh, and like we joke around. That's how we talk, And so if I'm talking to a wasp about like a customer service wasp, they'll think I'm being insulting.
Yeah.
Because I'm talking a certain way or whatever.
Right. It's the lack of understanding in your culture.
Yeah, they think I'm being like, why are you mad at me? Like, I'm not. That's how I talk. I'm not being mad at you. It's like a New York thing and Italian, and this is how we talk. It's they don't get it. They don't get it. And
I'm not trying to be rude or just trying to make.
I'm getting better at that, of being more waspy in terms of, like, I don't want, being more like, or just understanding like where they're coming from and trying to come to a middle ground.
Yeah.
Like, I'm starting to understand that, like, I have to be that way, like be a little more, compromise a little more,
yeah.
Not be so,
Yeah.
I don't know.
We can. I mean, once you start thinking about that, you can empathize with the African Americans, how they want to be around each other, how they want to. You want that too, and they want to have businesses around there and enjoy success in life, but be around people that think and act like them.
Yeah.
And, I want that same thing for myself too. And once you start thinking about the world like that, all people really want that. Italians want it, Irish want it, African Americans want that, Hispanic people want it. And it's just it's we used to have the right to fellowship in America, and but that's become so broken now that idea is become
that individuality. You're talking about like individuality.
The right to. I mean, it's actually in the Constitution that you have the right to association. You have the right to pick your own friends. You have the right to be around people that think like you and act like you in America. That's the right to association. It's right in the Constitution, and I think they were right about that. But that gets a little bit confusing nowadays when everything you say may be perceived as it's just because people don't understand, or like they haven't peeled back the veil of ignorance. They may think you're talking differently than them, so it bothers them.
Yeah. Like, because like the same conversation I'll have with them, like if I'm having it with a person where I grew up with, it's acceptable to them and they will understand it. They wouldn't take it. They take it. Just the communication is different. You're saying one thing, but they're interpreting it a different way. But
right. You have to introduce some. I noticed a lot of cultures, sarcasm and irony are used. Inflections are used in a different way, and you have to be. When I deal with Polish, you have to you have to look for the inflections they make and the humor that they project and everything too. And you have to and kind of see it their way and look at it. And it's interesting. And
it is. It is. It's very interesting because like Italian, the culture is very obnoxious. Very. This is how I grew up. Like you got your balls busted like every day.
Yeah.
Like that's just the way it is. And then so now I go into like a Protestant church when I was in my mid-20s, and I said a couple things like thinking it was normal, and the guy came up to me and I was really offended by what you said to me, this WASP guy,
Oh yeah.
And I said, "Oh man, I'm really sorry." I said, I didn't realize that you took it that way. I said, so like, this is how you learn. That's how you learn it.
They catch the little idiosyncrasies to it and the inflections that would probably be humorous. You retard.
Yeah, it's just a part of evolving, I guess.
Yeah. Well, that's the same thing I was saying about just because you don't understand something doesn't mean the person that's saying it is wrong. That means you're ignorant of.
Right. That's why it's good to, in the long run, I think it is better to be around your own kind. I think it's just a better, because you know what it is too? People fake it too. They fake it.
Right.
They fake it. Like you're not, so you don't know, like if you're around a different culture, you don't really know. They're laughing behind your back and they're, and you can't trust them as much. But when you're around your own people, you kind of know where you stand pretty much at all times.
Right.
So I think that helps. That helps.
Well, I find it a lot that people are mistrustful of me because I am probably one of the only Irish people, and my buddy, he's like one of the only Jewish people up here. It's like there's a certain twist, and it's probably why we like each other because we have to navigate this area up here, and it's like we feel that we feel that bigotry sometimes, and
sure.
It's like there's a certain mistrust towards me. Oh, look, there's a white guy. It's like he's white Irish, and he looks total. What's wrong with him? He doesn't even look like a WASP. He doesn't look like a Polak. He doesn't look like an Italian. What is he? He must be evil. People are mistrustful of me, and I get that a lot up here.
Yeah.
And I have to explain I'm an Irish Jew. It's like
Yeah. Well, I noticed that too because I was looking at some apartments out here and everything looks fine. Okay, send us your photo ID or and then no, they're only taking female applicants. Like they would make something up because I'm Caucasian.
Yeah.
And there's mostly Asian and Hispanic population like in Southern California, like I'm in a nicer part of Southern California, but there's not a lot of Caucasians. It's mostly right. And so they're like, oh no, we're only accepting female. Like, it's like reverse discrimination type thing.
Yeah, it is reverse discrimination.
It's kind of it's kind of like
buy this if I want. I can still rent there, and I'm going to sue.
Right, right, exactly. They're opening themselves up to liability. It's just I know why they didn't want me to live there. They're like they see this big guy, Italian guy from New York, and they get assumptions that I'm in the mafia or something, or who the hell knows? And they really do. I'm not even joking.
Yeah,
people really think that. There's people I used to work with, like, hey, are you you got any family members that are in the mob? I'm like, shut the hell up. I mean, these people are stupid, but that's how stupid they are. That's how ignorant they are.
Yeah, that's weird.
That is weird. Oh, what happened?
But yeah, so
that's strange. I couldn't believe it, Joe. Like that, and that kind of prompted me to say, oh, maybe this isn't a good fit for me. If they're turning me down for a stupid rental application, I mean, I have all the resources. I'm working on. I have all this education, references everywhere. It's like, why are you turning me down because of how I look? And
right, so, and that's bigotry there.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's the world we live in. You got to face reality, and it's kind of funny. But
so you plan to go to like some of the parks or anything around there?
Yeah, I was looking them up. I wanted to go. I think I might just sleeping in though. I'm just relax. I'm here for like another week. But yeah, I looked up some parks that I'm going to check out. But I got a feeling I'm going to be disappointed. But I might as well check them out anyway since I'm here.
Did you bring your bike? It's like,
yeah, I got my bike. It's in storage. Yeah, I threw it in the back.
Okay.
Yeah, but I haven't been riding because of my back.
Yeah,
I gotta take it easy.
You gotta get a bike with like some better shocks and a dual system for you.
Okay. Yeah.
That helped me too. With I use the dual shocks now, and I have a hardtail. I have 2 hardtails, but those hardtails are hard on your back sometimes. And the better shocks you buy, sometimes you can get a pretty good shock now. You get the RST aerial on the front and a DNMR and in the middle, then you're doing pretty good. And it makes it very much kind of put some thick tires on there. And
for the bike, I think that's what screwed up my bike. I was going too hard this summer.
Yeah,
but I'm getting better now. I'm getting healthier now because that went to my foot. The back pain went to my foot. That's sciatic, whatever.
Oh yeah, you got sciatic nerve problems. Okay, now
but now I'm getting healed. It's gonna take a little longer than I thought. But it's
you might want to
buy
a seat shock, not like a dropper post, but they sell. They're probably they're almost the same, but one's a shock. It has a spring in there, so when your butt comes down, it doesn't actually hit. It's like a shock, and you can get an air shock, a seat air shock, and that'd probably be real comfortable for you.
Okay, yeah, I gotta. Yeah, because they're making the seats really uncomfortable.
Yeah. Sometimes you just got to find one that fits you. I bought the big one. I thought like, oh man, a big one's going to be with the little springs underneath and everything. And it wasn't as comfortable as one of the skinnier ones. And it's like I found one brand that was it just looks just like a regular mountain biking seat, but it really fits me very well. And just find that fit for your ass, And it's, go through a few seats and figure out which one's more comfortable for you. It's hard to tell sometimes. There's a lot of different designs and, but that's all personal to your body type.
Yeah. But yeah, one of the stories I want to talk about was that Amazon guy that killed himself. You see that a couple months ago?
Amazon guy that killed himself. I didn't really read.
Yeah, he jumped off of he was in Vegas. They got a 855,000 square foot facility in Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy was 48, which is, close to my age, and it's like, man, I just thought about it. Like, so he was just, if you read through the article I sent on Google Hangouts, and he was going through a divorce, I guess, and just Amazon, how they treat their employees, like they just treat them like garbage, It's like, and he finally just had enough. He just flipped out and just jumped to his, I guess, I don't know how many stories from at the facility. Killed him, he just jumped off of the, he just killed him. He committed suicide right inside the facility. And the thing about the story was so they didn't even shut down operations for a few hours. Like you know what I mean? Like you're supposed to immediately shut down everything, right?
Yeah.
They didn't even do that. That just shows you how it's like
people
this.
Can grieve. People are traumatized.
Yeah.
Not even.
Yeah.
How
the corporate world is so.
Yeah. If you
barbaric.
It's
barbaric,
Yeah, it's barbaric. And if you said anything, you'd probably be fired. But, it was just a worker. It was just a man. It was just a disposable human. And,
yeah.
I mean, that's what, guys like, us in the past, and we get a bad name for it. But, man, the union workers are the people I was a union enforcer. So, I'd be going to talk to somebody and, about what kind of what they're putting their employees through. But that's nowadays that's like, ooh, you guys are bad. That's
right. And the one lady, I read a bunch of articles about it. She said, yeah, they'd give you a 10 or 15-minute break, but by the time you walked all the way to the bathroom, it took 10 minutes to get to the bathroom.
Right. Yeah. There's a
So
certain
the break will be over by the time.
Yeah, there's a certain amount of ergonomics. We used to talk about ergonomics in the 90s, and then they just kind of went away. It's like, if you can provide a chair for your employee to sit at and do the same amount of work, you should. But there's this, and this is where the corporate culture from the management staff, managers sometimes are assholes and need to be put in their place. They need to be slapped around a little bit, because if a manager can provide chairs for his employees to keep a certain amount of comfort and keep their backs from hurting, they should. But those managers want to be enforcers. They want to be, you'll do what I say. There's an authoritarian thing that comes from that. And these are people that have to realize that, no, you're not an authority. You're just in that manager position because there's a job that needs to be done. And that's what I talk about, those lighter than air jobs that are those bullshit jobs. If you can remove this guy from the situation for a month, and nobody knows he's gone, and the employees are actually happier, he's got a bullshit job that he's just an authoritarian figure in that's not needed, and he's leeching off of the hard work of the working class. And you got a lot of those people, and they're very casually cruel. They're always got something smart to say. It's like, no, them people need to be dealt with. But if you don't have unions, there's no one to deal with. There's no Joe around that you don't treat people like that.
No.
You have to have somebody that informs people like that, because they don't know any better. They're just ignorant. They don't know that you don't treat people like that. I mean, and if they continue to do it, then they're going to get slapped around or go to jail. Now, if you mistreat and abuse your employees, don't you think that's as equal as any kind of abuse? And these people should be put in jail.
Yeah.
But why don't they? Why isn't there the law that says this shitty manager has been abusing his employees to the point of suicide, and this manager should go to jail because that's abuse? But
it's absolutely,
But for some reason in our society, they don't prosecute people like that.
No, because the corporations kind of run things.
The corporations that run it,
yeah.
That's where you need union representation.
Of course, yeah, of course.
Then there'll be someone to say, no, we're going to prosecute, or we're going to sue at least, and there'll be a monetary judgment against you. And if that doesn't work, then we'll bring a little, we'll get a little shady until you understand.
Yeah. Well,
and that's what the New Deal was about. The New Deal was this totalitarian, authoritarian corporations in America, the robber barons, were getting away with so much that we had to make a deal with them. Like, we're not going to kill you if these laws we're going to put in these things where we'll do this and you'll do that. And there was a separation there where we did have unions then after that. And it says, we're not going to let you no longer get away with treating employees like that. And we'll hold up our side of the bargain, and we won't do anything to you if you hold up to your side. But nowadays there's an imbalance in corporations now.
Absolutely.
There's no New Deal, but we have to reestablish a New Deal because they're breaking the old deal.
I think the way to do it is just is as an employee is just don't put all your heart and soul into a job.
Yeah,
I think that's one way to fight back.
Right. That's how there's a peaceful way of doing this. And what we do is we all just slow down. And I would just go around to where was it? Just do as little as possible and break as much as you can. Just break shit.
And steal shit, break shit. I mean, maybe you don't want to steal stuff, you go to jail. But
don't get caught. Do it very craftily.
Don't steal. Don't steal. Take that back.
Yeah, don't steal. Just break shit when you can. Make sure machines don't run. Work as slow as possible. Right. And then after about a week, they'll come and want to talk to me, and then we'll talk our way through this, and then we'll get to a better understanding about how you treat your employees.
Right.
Right, because this should have never happened. I mean, this guy was obviously going through personal problems too, but I don't think it helped. Like the fact that he did it at work says a lot. Obviously, that job was getting to him,
the job. There should have been someone that says, and there's people that notice these things. He's acting depressed, and depression is a real medical. He should have been taken care of under his medical, like. The jobs, but even when you go down now the corporate situation of medical, they don't identify. There's no time off for people with depression because of their job.
Mm-hmm.
It's like there should be, and I mean, there should. I do notice these things, and
they set all these unrealistic expectations.
Yeah, there's unrealistic. I remember that when I had changed jobs once. I ended up a really shitty job was making times, and the expectation was 900 an hour, but it was only possible to do 700 an hour, and it was only really possible to get 450 to 500 at your top rate. Top rate was if you made 600, you were a fucking god on that machine. They would set the rate at 900.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, no, that's not possible. But that's cruelty to your, there should be an honesty where, okay, 400 to 450 is acceptable on this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's all companies do that, and they'll explain it away by some anti-logic, and hence you need me to untangle those things. And they're very good at the rhetorics, and that's why I say it's they're like Stoics, like not Stoics, Sophists. Like they're just using rhetorics against you. You have to become attuned to that.
Well, and then they use annual evaluations that are dishonest and
they're
not there for your development. They're there just to beat you down.
Right, and evaluations are usually just there to, I can't remember how it's put, Durkheim puts it a certain way, where that's to cover their asses for their corruption.
Right. Is that how he puts it? Really?
It's self-serving. They're being self-serving, and that they back it up with these evaluations, and then they'll even back, so they get a positive evaluation and you get a negative evaluation. So it displaces blame.
So I think the answers to change that would be just to trick the trickster and kind of smile, and but deep down inside you're just going to do the minimum and
just try to.
That's it. Just look like you're busy, like you used to say. Like look like you're busy, but you're not really.
If no one's
just look like you're busy. That doesn't mean you exert all this energy to do the job, because that's what they deserve. Just give them what my Filipino friend used to say it to me. Just give them what they deserve.
Give them what they deserve, and if you're proud of your work and you do a good job on one thing and you're proud of that after, there's nothing wrong with working hard for that and then sitting back and saying, look what I've done. But you want somebody else to notice what you've done too and say, that would be a really good job. You do that well, Joe. But usually the time there's none of those attaboys about how well you do a certain thing. But in that case, in the other cases, like if I told you for years, if I go into something and I'm an mechanical technician and I feel I'm being taken advantage of, I'll put a time bomb in. What I call a time bomb. It shuts the thing down for maintenance, and then you have to call me, and I'll go, well, last time I was there, you tried to steal from me. Why would I even come in? But the time bomb shut it off, and it's like, fix it. It's so easy, fix it. And then they'd have to bring me in for the code, and then I would sell them that, and it's like, don't treat me like that.
We had a sales rep that did that. So when these guys were selling in the 80s and early 90s, and what happened is in the late 90s and 2000s they started having iPads and computers, right? You have to enter the information,
right? So
what these old timers did is they purposely left their computer on top of their car and then they would drive off and then just say, oh, I left the computer on top of the car and the thing smashed. So now they would go dark for, they have to replace the computer and it would be, so they'd have like a month or two and then they wouldn't do any work.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
you couldn't
There's
track them.
little tricks, and that tells anytime a person. What I noticed in the maintenance business is the line's running, and sometimes a screw will fall on a chain or something. I'll knock the chain off, and sometimes the employees just it gets so hot, it gets so tiresome, they just need a break for a minute, and it's not on a scheduled break. So you have to be that intermediate person in the middle that explains, like, okay, I'll fix the chain, guys. Go get a cup of coffee and cool yourselves down or something, and I'll make sure this job takes 20 minutes, and that'll give you your break. And you got to understand that on people. Sometimes people do things for a reason, and that's
you're right. It's out of balance, though. You're absolutely right.
That's the sign of a good manager, a person that manages his employees correctly and wants the best for them, and decides that, like, Amazon managers are just for bullshit job managers where they don't really understand their employees. They don't take time to understand their employees. They can't get the best out of their employees because they're shitholes. And why Jeff Bezos would even put up with that about having inept managers is beyond me.
Yeah, you're multi billion-dollar company, or what, $1 trillion company? I don't know. They might be even more than that, $1 trillion, right? I don't know.
Yeah, he's going to get there, but he'll probably be broken up before that. And
I mean, the thing is, like, you're right. It's like it's all about the rich getting richer and be a better slave and all these things that we talk about. And
that's what they want you to be, a better
and
slave.
they're creating all this suffering, and it's important to talk about because people are killing themselves over this kind of stuff.
Right.
Because what they're absorbing all that bullshit. You know,
right. We used to do, when I was very young in the maintenance business, we used to do who's the best maintenance man. And it's like, I'm the best maintenance. No, I'm the best maintenance man. And then that would promote competition to get the job done faster and everything. But then we realized how self-defeating that was. And they do who's the best slave all over this world. I'm the best slave. The boss will like me the best if I'm the best slave. And that's man, you have to understand, you're not being a team player. You're not being that promotes discourse, and it promotes a bad work environment. And there's no way to get the best out of your employees if everybody's not working together. And sooner or later, that person who's the best slave is going to start. He's the Uncle Tom. He's going to start irritating the rest, and they're going to purposely. And people are purposely. There's a dark side of human nature. People will purposely sabotage him. So it's empty chair policy after that. It's like you had really good workers, but they left. Now you have medium workers. Did that help the company at all? No, it doesn't. There's a real logic behind empty chair policy.
Yeah, it's just a sad story. I mean, the whole thing, the divorce, he just didn't have an out. He didn't probably feel like he had had a lot of outs, I guess. And
I realized somewhere in the 90s that, like, I couldn't get a job for what I do anymore, and group dynamics is what I really do in life. I couldn't to come in and solve these problems for companies and everything, and that's what I did. I wrote my book on how to solve these problems, and it's like they don't really care enough to have. It's like, we'll just keep running. There's enough people. There's enough rats in the rat farm to just run the rats through. That's the way they think about people, and they'll just
It's like I had an interview with a
Fortune 500.
Yeah, this Fortune 500 company, and the job was in Denver. I don't even know if I wanted it, but I just interviewed for it. My friend worked in the HR department. He got me the interview, and the guy said something about plug and play. Oh, we just plug and play. I was just so offended. It's like, plug and play. I said, have you read my resume, dude? Did you know? Really? Like, I can walk through I can break down I'm really good sales. I'm a really exceptional outside sales rep. I'm not just average. I'm not even above average. I'm like exceptional. I'm top 3%. Like, I'm excellent. And then he's telling me plug and play. Like, you can just plug anybody into that role, and they're like, "No, dude, that's not. No, I have. It's
not how it works.
It's not how it works. Read the resume, read the accomplishments. Ask me any question, complex as you want it to be, and I can break it down for you. So don't tell me that you can just plug anybody into this role,
right?
And they can do the job. That's no. That's, and if that is the case, then I don't want that job.
Right. If that's,
I was just really offended by this guy. Anyway, go ahead. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, that's asking the least amount from your employee that he can possibly give, and it's like monkeys,
Yeah. What a term to use, huh? Plug and play, right? What a term.
That was ISO 9000, and ISO 9000 was to learn each job individually, what the job would take, so you can just plug and play a person in. Just you can show them this is what you do, but things aren't like that. I noticed, like in metal work, there's guys that know metal, know the formation of metal, know what to look for. I mean, there's guys that take real pride, and they have real skills, and you just can't teach that without time. Millwrights are like that. It takes 8 years to become a millwright for a reason, because you need 8 years of experience and seeing every little thing that would happen. And there's a lot of different things that happen. The applied technologies are all the same, but they're relying on applied technologies. This works like this. This works like this. But in life, there's entropy, and that's where a millwright will fill in the blanks for you. It's like, this thing's going to break, and there's reasons why this thing is going to break, and I know how the process is going to happen, and I could thwart that process. Or you can just get your brother-in-law off the street that knows nothing, and he can wait for the process to end, the entropy to happen. Your choice,
Right. But that's how arrogant these big corporations are.
Yeah, they'll opt out for the simpler choice, because it tells more about them and their lack of character, their lack of responsibility, their lack of understanding in the job when they opt out for the second choice.
That's right.
And there's a lot of people like that. Them are them lighter than air jobs, where all this guy wants to do is go into his office, drink coffee, and not have to do no work. That's his goal in life. Do nothing. They do nothing. Lighter than air jobs.
Yeah, I look back on my career as I was just a freaking God. I worked too hard. I worked way too hard for these people. It's like, I was so efficient, because I was so efficient. I was like so efficient,
Yeah, I wore my body out for corporations, and I realized they don't care at the end either.
No, they don't care. Exactly right.
This capitalism doesn't care. You're a disposable male, and when they spit you out, and your knees are not working anymore, and your feet aren't working anymore, and you have shoulder problems, and you have back problems, they don't care. So you have to take that in mind as a young man now, and that's where I say,
that's right.
There's a lot of things do as a young man, just not so you're still healthy at my age,
And save every penny. You got to save every penny, because you can't be spending money on women and all these kind of things. And obviously, you don't want long-term relationships or marriage, but you don't want to spend. You really just want to minimize your costs across the board. The number one cost is always going to be rent, but housing. But so just try to minimize everything, save every penny, and retire as early as you can. That's the thing you want to do. Because when you get to be our age,
nobody.
I'm in my late 40s, you're in your 50s, and it's like,
nobody wants.
You don't want to. Yeah, you don't want to. Let's say you don't want to work, but you don't want to have to kill yourself to make a buck.
Right. Right. But they want you for a little period of time for the experience and knowledge that I have. Like, I get calls all the time where, Joe, come down, there's this machine that you worked on once, and we don't know what's wrong. They want to, and it's so insulting to me. It's like, you want to pay me for a day's work or 2 days work, and I make what I make. And then they'll complain about what I'm making. And I'll say, you want the knowledge that I know about this machine, but you want it for less money, and you don't want to pay me the $75 an hour, and I need 4 days work and to make this work, and it would be fair that it's like. But on the way I explain this, like, you want somebody that's experienced as me, and you don't want to pay for it. But if I came into your shop as a young man and I lied about what I was, you would say I was cheating. And you're doing the opposite thing. Now that I'm worth that money, you don't want to pay me.
Right. That's what I'm facing now, because they're like, oh, this guy's.
I can see where you're at, and it's insulting, and it's
it's very insulting.
My job, which I trained for, and it took 2 years of college, and it was a trade, it was electromechanical technician, but I had to be a millwright before that, and that was 8 years of my life, and then years of that, and then I had to be an electrician before that. So there's 16, 20 years of learning in this stuff, and I'm supposed to make $120 an hour. That's what I'm supposed to make.
Yeah. And that's why I don't.
And that's purposeful. That's because I'm only going to spend 4 hours at your shop, and then I don't have a job after that. I'm on call.
Mm-hmm.
And if they try to cheat on me for that, they want to oh, you can make $40 an hour. That's not barely enough for me to even get out of bed.
Mm-hmm.
But then it was the specific jobs are the ones that really drive me nuts when they call me is we know you can fix this, and they still disregard that how much I need to make.
Yeah, it's funny, you're talking about blue collar work, but the same thing applies to white collar situations too.
Yeah.
But if you are going to do a white collar position, I would say lean towards those professions where you get more respect as you get older. You know what I mean? In sales, you get no respect as you get older. They just totally they're hiring all these 20-year-old yahoos. Well, which I was a young guy too, and I had to start somewhere too. But boy, now I'm at the peak of my career, and I have all this knowledge and know how to grow a territory, and you don't give me opportunities because you want to hire these younger guys for less money, but you're losing out. You're sabotaging your own business.
Sales is sometimes about a strong performance, and it's that enthusiastic salesman of youth.
Yeah,
and that's what they value. It's most of the time it's this guy can sell he's so young and enthusiastic about this, he can sell sand to people in the desert.
Right.
And he doesn't care. But in the knowledge of how to do the job more perfect, they disregard because they can get enthusiastic salesmen.
Right. And they can't control you as much.
Appearance makes up for what he doesn't know.
Right.
I used to argue this with my friend all the time. I have a friend he's a really good salesman. He's a really well-respected salesman in the sales, and he had several companies that were major companies, and that he did, and he would argue. I would say, well, it's a lot about appearance, and you can make up with appearance and enthusiasm. And he would no, and I was like, yes, and we'd have that argument going back and forth. I think he sees, obviously he's my age now, and he's getting treated the same way.
Yeah.
And he sees it now that he doesn't have that youthful appearance to lean back on, but he has a lot of knowledge, but they don't want to pay for that knowledge.
No. Well, that's how you go into management. That's why I'm positioning my career to go into management.
Yeah.
That's where my opportunity is. Eventually you have to go into management if you want to get paid, because
he had to overemphasize his education at a certain point, and that's what he did. He went back to school just like you did. He went back to school, and he says, at least now I have the credentials. And
and then you go into management, and then they get the utility out of you as a manager. But
there's
at least you're getting paid. At least you're getting paid,
Yeah, there's a difference between middle management and management too. It's management reserved for the people that they want in those positions. There's friends, brother-in-laws, people that it's their community. You're not automatically
right. You have to be born in London.
Born into that. Yeah, you're not invited into their community.
You have to be born in UK, London to get.
Yeah, you have to be a wasp.
To be a wasp. Oh man,
you can't be an Irish Jew. They don't want an Irish Jew in their community.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's so true. My aunt, when she was she has a master's of, business or whatever she does. I don't know. So when she moved to New York, this is 30 years ago, she looked up all the Italian CEOs.
Yeah.
And that's how she got her first job. She got her first job, and she ended up doing real well for herself. And she just found Italian leadership and companies, and And that's where she applied, and that's where she reached out to, and they helped her out.
What I think is really funny is that when I talk to some of my black friends, they don't believe that there is bigotry within the white community.
Oh, absolutely, there is.
They see us all as white, and I says, no. We can tell the difference. It's the same way you can tell the difference between a Nigerian and a Somalian. We can tell that there's differences between Irish and Polish and English, and they're very bigoted towards each other.
Yeah, no, it's true. That's why if you need a job, that's what you do. You go to where you're from, or where the ethnic group you belong to is, and you'll have a better chance.
I know never to go ask a WASP for a job, because they will not hire me simply on the basis of my name.
Right. I'm facing that not only with work here in LA, but with housing. I'm facing it with housing. I have no criminal record. I have I don't know, 500 references I can give you. It's like,
right. Yeah.
All this education, and I'm working on my second master's degree. I got all this. I'm a teacher. It's like, wow. It's like, are you people for real?
Are you people for real? Yeah. I'm overeducated. And
yeah.
It's like
I do a YouTube show with talking. I'm not just kidding. That's not a credential, but no, but yeah, it's like you just it gets to the point you just have to face the reality. Is okay. Well, I'll just move back to my hometown, and everybody knows me. And you know what? Hey, my buddy I played baseball with in Little League, and he's a manager now. Okay, yeah, we'll hire you.
Yeah, when I used to go to jobs, I would always look for what was the guy's name, the president's name. If it was an Irish name, I see a lot of Irish managers there. No, I'd go put an application in there, because I know,
of course,
it's like, yeah, that's.
And when they worked against me, I was so disappointed in that person. I was like, wow, this person's a real idiot. I said, how do you not hire your own kind? I said, well, you're a real idiot. You don't think I'm going to return that favor to you someday? Of course I will. But they don't look at it that way. They don't look at it that way. Yeah, and they were both young guys, probably around 30 or so. I'm maybe 10 years older than them at the time, and they both didn't hire me. And two Italian guys. I'm like, wow, you guys are really a bunch of idiots, man.
Yeah. I noticed right from the beginning of my, even when I was 17, 16 years old, there was a bigotry towards and people generally, they keep in their group, and you can't avoid that, and you have to work within that system.
Sure.
And trying to bust through that, and I know it's wrong, and everybody knows it's wrong, but that's just the way it is. And and it usually springs from a few certain groups that have more power, and that's where the racism comes. Certain groups have more power, and we can talk about racism and what racism is. But there's privilege, and like we said, them managers at top, them are privileged people, and that's power. Sure. It's like them. That's the racism, and but Zionism does the same thing. It's like you're not going to bust into that. I can become the best Jew I possibly can, but I'm not going to bust into that group by just being a religious Jew. I could, or present myself like that. They would still look at my name, and this guy was born Irish. He's not one of us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's why I do that. That's why I always say I'm an Irish Jew, because it presents the reality of that. And it's funny. People laugh, and I go, but don't you see the irony?
Yeah.
The irony is right there in your face. It's a sad irony.
They love eating it's Italians. They love eating our food, listening to our music.
Yeah.
Because what do they have to offer? Look at how bad the food is in some of these WASPy.
Some of those pizza
WASPy background, they're terrible. They don't have anything to offer. Their music sucks. Their culture sucks. There's boring people.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'm not saying all of them, but here's the sarcasm coming out, and people don't even pick up on it, right? That's the sarcasm coming out.
That's true. There used to be this Italian pizza shop around the corner. They used a coal oven, and they used real mozzarella cheese. And then, but they made their pizzas only specific ways, and you couldn't veer. You couldn't go in there. It wasn't McDonald's. You couldn't order whatever you wanted. They had certain pizzas they made, and one of them was the original Italian, which I really love. It's black olives and sausage, and he's like. The first time I went in there, he's like, I says, I need double cheese on that. And he goes, there's already is double cheese on that. And he was salted. And when I got the pizza, it was fucking beautiful. That's all me and my buddy ever eat anymore. It was like, fucking, this is great. You're right.
we had this restaurant in Syracuse. It was it's called the Angati. So yeah, this place it's like a house. It's like nobody can find it, you know? It's like this secret thing. And meanwhile, their food is like the best food in probably the whole country. The best Italian food, and it's like $10. It's like you can get a nice plate, like you get a pizza for like $15, like a big pizza. Like the food is like unbelievable. It's like this little house, like near downtown, you know. And
when I lived in Cleveland, there was two, and they were opposite. One was a Polish restaurant owned by this I worked for him for a while when I was laid off from a few places. He paid good under the table to me. And then there was this Italian restaurant, and they both used to make their pounded veal the same way, and they called it two different things. And they're like, but you get that pounded veal, and then what do you call that Italian? It's pounded veal and breaded, and it's Italian, and then it's Polish.
Veal Parmesan. I mean, like veal.
Yeah, veal Parmesan, and he called it. The Polish guy called it. Something else. I can't remember the name of it off the hand, but it was almost exactly the same thing, but they both did it right. And the Italian guy, when we go in for that, you would hear him in the back actually pounding it with the hammer. I was like, that guy's working on that. You're going to get a good piece of veal.
Yeah.
But it was delicious.
Yeah.
Donati's or something like that. It was called Donati's.
Yeah. Now the Italian food in Syracuse is like unreal. It's like so good. It's like
we don't even have an.
And people talk shit about that city. People talk shit about, because I went to school out there. It's like people talk shit about Syracuse. Like they have no fucking clue what they're talking about. Like how unbelievable that city is with the state parks out there and the
people are.
I miss it. I miss it, and it was good for me to come out here to the West Coast. Just to, I was gonna move back, but I'm having second thoughts and. As you get a little older, you kind of figure out, okay, what's the best option? And the cold weather is a son of a bitch out there.
Yeah, the cold weather is a son of a bitch.
But the culture and the food and the communication with the people, those things are totally different. And then you're not and then they see my last name and they don't treat me like I'm a piece of garbage. You know what I mean? If anything, I get more respect. I get more respect.
Right. The one time I was in Syracuse, I was treated really good, and it was like I was from Cleveland, being used to treated like shit, and it's like me and my brother were like, "What was that all about?" This guy was just really too nice to him.
Yeah. The people there are amazing, man. They're like, you know why? Because it's not a transient community. I think that has a lot to do with it. Because these big cities are so transient. You get all these yahoos moving in, and Vegas is a perfect example of that. Because I lived there for like 10 years. Transient community, and you just get all these shot takers and yahoos, and they have no respect for anything, and so like a city like Syracuse is not that way, not transient. People they're born there and they live there.
And they're invested in the community, and
right, they're invested in the community. You don't act like there's there's a little crime there every now and then, of course.
Yeah, everybody's got shit. Hey, sorry, we got one of our retards wandered off the farm, and sorry, we'll collect them up. Right.
But for the most part, the people don't really. They're pretty cool, pretty good. Especially in the rural areas, like there's places like Fayetteville, Manulus, DeWitt. Those are like those are like the nice suburbs of Syracuse. Those are like, there's like no crime. There's like nothing going on there in terms of crime.
That's what I like about up here. The farther you get away, you got like Kipton and LaGrange and Huron and those little towns, and they're just beautiful little towns to be in. And I love it.
There's a place called Yeah, like Skinny Atlas. This place called Skinny Atlas, and I guess rumor. So Derek Jeter had a house out there. It was like a big secret, but we found it after he sold it. It was like such a big secret. But Derek Jeter, and that's a pretty big name, you know. It's like, there's a couple like big names that have houses in that area they don't know about. I think they put it in different names, but they actually live there. They're spotted out in that area. That's how nice it is.
The divorce one. He just divorced. Oh, he just divorced.
Jeter.
Yeah, what's his? It's all up in the news lately.
He got divorced. Jeter got divorced. I thought he just got married a couple of years ago.
Yeah, what was her name? The one that I say, if you wait long enough, everybody gets to do her.
Oh, Juliette Lewis?
No, not Juliette Lewis. The girl from the action adventure girl. I'll look it up.
Scarlett Johansson. But I don't know. Yeah, Joe, coming back to LA and Vegas, I'm like, it's very disappointed. I think what it is, I just changed so much as a person. And you know, because being out in the nature for 3 years, it changes you. And, you know, but I tell you, one place I don't want to live is like Iowa or like Kansas or a place like middle of nowhere. What's your name?
Oh, no, I was doing my Google.
Oh, okay. No, I don't think it's Derek Jeter that got divorced.
Yeah, one of the Yankees shortstop.
Oh, he did get divorced? No, or no.
Yeah, I'm just spelling the name wrong.
Oh, Yankee shortstop. He got a divorce. Gee, I should know this.
Yeah, it's just all over Google.
Really? Let me look this up. I gotta find out.
Yeah, he was the Chiefs. It's all over.
Shortstop. Yeah. Bobby Meacham? No, just kidding.
No, it's Derek Jeter. Derek Jeter, ex-wife.
Yankee. Oh, you're talking about Mariah Carey. He was talking about. I'm looking at Mariah Carey here.
Maybe I'm thinking about the wrong guy. Maybe I'm thinking about the wrong Yankee.
Yeah. Let me see. Anyway, yeah, it's. But yeah, I think it's important to do the introspection, see where you know, find the best place for you where you want to live or whatever. And it's very important. You know, you can't. And I think a lot of it is like, again, what you said about being around your own people. I think it's really a good thing. Baseball. What would you look up? Baseball divorce.
Oh, there it is. What was her name? God, I can't remember her name. Maybe he was just dating her. I don't know what happened. Mariah Carey.
Mariah Carey and Derek Jeter. Yeah, I don't think they were ever married though, were they?
Yeah, and then she's been seen like with what's his name lately. It's like she rented a house.
Yeah, I don't see what. I don't think she's attractive. Mariah Carey. Is she attractive? Let me see. No, I don't think she's very pretty. Yeah, I don't think.
I used to make fun of her. It's like she was she ran through so many dudes in Hollywood. It was like, yeah, if you wait long enough, you get to do her too.
Yeah. She doesn't look too good. She looks like Juliette Lewis's cousin. Right?
Yeah. What was the Angelina Jolie's that way too? Everybody gets to do Angelina Jolie once.
Yeah. This town has changed so much too. I don't know if it's because I've changed or it's because it's probably because I've changed. It's just not the same vibe. I think because I'm getting older and I don't want to be caught up in traffic all the time. You know.
Yeah, that inner city shit, that'll eat you up inside. That'll kill you. I lived in Cleveland inner city Cleveland I lived in for, that's where the money was. That's where that's where the industry was. And, you know, but man, that stuff takes such a toll on your psyche after a while. Like I said, there wasn't a day where I didn't see something stupid.
That's right. I saw something stupid the other day I wanted to tell you about. What was he doing? Oh, yeah, in LA. These guys, like, he was like, you know, you always see the shadow boxing, but there were actually two guys with boxing gloves. Now I'm at the casino playing poker, which I shouldn't. I don't even like playing poker anymore, but there's nothing else to do. I'm on vacation pretty much, so
Yeah, I
go there and
last night myself.
Oh, you did? Oh, where'd you go? The downtown casinos? Oh, online? Oh, they have online? Oh, really?
Yeah, I lost $50.
Well, I tell you, if you're gonna do online poker, the best thing you do, honestly, is to just play like $5 or $10 tournaments. Just do tournaments. That way,
I lost
even
fast too. It was like within 10 minutes. I was down.
Yeah, because the problem is, first of all, there's definitely cheating online. So even if you play a $5 or $10 tournament, it still might cheat you, but there's less likely to be cheating. Because and then you're getting value for your money too. Actually, I wouldn't even play that high. I'd just play $5 or less. Playing tournaments that are $5 or less.
Right. It was a $5 a hand thing, and with
just play small money.
And
I used to, yeah.
It was like I went for the review said this is the most reputable place, but I was like, "Ooh, man, that was man, I lost fast again," and I was just playing against the house.
Yeah.
And video poker against the house is like, wow, that was quick.
Yeah. No, they're cheating you. They're cheating. They're it's a bait and switch, but
yeah, I didn't think I sucked that bad at poker.
Yeah, it's a bait and switch, and they're well, it's been proven.
And that's why I'd rather play real people sometimes, because real people.
Of course.
I'm just notorious for pushing the table.
Well, now the problem, I'm going to tell you another issue with poker is the middleman. That's the thing people always forget. They think, I'm just playing against these other players, but the middleman's always making money with no risk. They're the ones running the game.
Yeah, there was
the only risk. Yeah,
there was an extra tag on that $50 for the middleman.
Right, the middleman's always making money with no risk, and that's what you have in a lot of scenarios in life. Is you want to be in situations where your middleman's not involved in anything. Like even with real estate, right? Look at the real estate fees on transaction with real estate agents.
Yeah, there's
stuff like that. So you got to eliminate the middleman. But poker, in poker, that's a problem. That's why I don't like to play anymore. Is because the rake is high. The middleman's making money with no risk. It's one thing if you're in a private game and they're giving out the guy running the game is giving out credit.
Yeah.
And you get these idiots that they get credit and then they just burn the money because when you're gambling on credit, you tend to gamble a little more loosely. But anyway, yeah, I think that's an important concept though to think about the middleman. And it happens in a lot of scenarios, like these judges and lawyers.
Right. Yeah. There's marriage out there, and we talk about that a lot in MGTOW. And the middleman is the government and the judges and lawyers. And their rake, that's the rake.
Right. It's like a wedding, It's like they want you to get married because look at all the people that are benefiting, profiting from these weddings, and I don't know.
That guy that used to come around Pocket Aces would say, "I got Pocket Aces being a MGTOW."
What happened to that guy?
What happened to that guy? He's so smart.
He's a great, he's great, wasn't he?
Yeah.
But no, it's I tell you, I love MGTOW. It's like I said, I drove. I spent the last month driving cross country, and it's like, I'm having second thoughts now, and I still don't know if I'm going to leave the Midwest. Like you said, I might try Texas for a few weeks, or we'll see what happens. But it's
the only reason I think
it's a little stressful driving
in lower Texas, where we're talking, not around Brownsville, but down.
Oh yeah, like San Antonio area.
Yeah, we're looking at that little island there, Galveston, because of the port.
Might be a good area. It might be a good area.
Yeah, the port, and then all the products come in that port, and then they need salesmen to go out from there.
Sure.
And
it's a good market
for salesmen.
Now it's a good market. The thing is, the only thing I'm thinking now is, well, if I'm going to move there just for a job, well, is that I don't know if that's good enough for me. I think what's good enough for me is to live in a community where I feel accepted and
right, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the culture I fit in. They're not going to discriminate me because of my Italian heritage. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it here in LA, and maybe I was just ignorant to that 10 years ago when I first moved here.
Yeah, you're probably not. It was just a flyby on you. You didn't really care. You're not a racist, so you're like.
Yeah. No, I'm not a racist. No, I'm not. Yeah, not at all.
Yeah, so you just don't care about those things. It's what was the word I used?
But when you experience it, like I did yesterday, when everything was going fine, and then I sent her my
You're
university
indifferent
ID.
To it.
I was really disappointed, and I told her no problem, but I was upset. I was very upset about that.
Yeah.
Because I know why she turned down my application. It's because I wasn't Asian. That's really, I was just point blank. I wasn't Asian.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's a big press on hiring Asians now too because of the perceived Asian violence and all that. They're going to make it up to them, and there's no overage of it. I did the numbers on that, and matter of fact, it's less, and that's usually what happens in those. It's Simpson's paradox. The numbers work out to less.
But I don't face that same thing. I don't face that.
When examined, when examined against the mean, it looks like there is.
But it's good having that freedom to do some traveling and
there's big Irish cities in Texas, and there's big Italian cities. You can look it up.
No, I was looking them up. You know what's the city I was looking at strongly was Pittsburgh, because a lot of Italians.
A lot of Pittsburgh.
Yeah, a lot of Italians in Pittsburgh. I think there's a lot of Italians in Cleveland too. But
there's.
I like Pittsburgh a lot. I like Pittsburgh a lot because you got it's a sports town. It's got a nice little casino there and the rivers. There's some really nice areas. The housing's affordable. You got a lot of positives in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, that's what you got to look for, the affordable housing. In the Italian neighborhood of Cleveland, it's very affordable housing. Except when you get out a little, it gets like into the Shaker area. You're going towards Shaker
Heights.
Yeah, and nobody can afford to live there.
Yeah. Oh, I tell you, when I drove through Cleveland, it was late. I should have reached out to you, but it was like 3 a.m. So I woke up. It's just one of those things. I was just driving through, and I had a lot of energy, so I just kept going. But Cleveland was pretty impressive. Cleveland looks pretty impressive from the freeway, like the stadium, like downtown there. It looks really nice.
When you come in through the Bracknell there, and you go down, if you ever go down make it a next time you drive through, get off the 90 and drive down the inner 2 that up against the lake, and you'll really see there's like houses that are like castles, and this goes on for 40 miles and 40 miles of castles. And it's like you start realizing that from the Bracknell to Avon, it's very high class, and we look at it as like we're not allowed in that area.
Wow. Yeah, all doctors and lawyers.
Doctors and lawyers. The average
judges
that
don't shit.
Is $114K and up. It's like well, that's what I see when I look over the river here. And I live in a poor town, and then the next town is like, wow, you guys live really good.
Yeah. Who knows what they're doing? Like you said, you don't even know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Probably overextending. Like you look at a house from the outside. It looks really
I was never invited in. I tried to get in, but I'm just a poor Irish kid.
Yeah. Well, you weren't corrupt either. Like
I wasn't corrupt. I didn't think that way, and
they'll do anything for their family.
Yeah.
Lie and cheat and steal.
They'll lie, cheat, and steal to keep what they figure in their community they deserve. And I wasn't invited. I can accept that, but
yeah. No, I feel like very same way in a lot of ways. Like it's okay. I'll just go back to where I was from, and I got a lot of friends there, and.
Yeah, my buddy used
we'll all help each other out, have a good life, and that's a better way to live. And instead of making fake friends and all this kind of stuff.
My buddy used to work in Shaker Heights. Now, Shaker, you know about Shaker. Shaker's world famous for being somewhere you're not allowed to live because of too big. And he used to work in that area every day he would come home with this depressed look on his face, and they treated him like crap. And
really.
Yeah. And it's like he was we used to just call him pool boy.
Oh, really?
They treated him like the pool boy. It's like
shit. And it's like Beverly Hills and Malibu and
like Beverly Hills, Malibu. Yeah, Shaker Heights, Cleveland is Beverly Hills, Malibu area, and the people are just.
Yeah, Orange County. It's like Orange County.
There's money. Yeah, there's old money there, and old money is different than nouveau riche.
They're living in such. You talk about living in a fantasy fiction world. These people in Orange County, the OC. Oh my God.
OC, yeah. Now you can move out to other areas like even Hoka's area is very nice, and it's like from there up to Avon and down to the closer you get to the lake is more desirable the property, you know, because there's, right now is a water wonderland. If you live on the beach, those houses sell for 1.4 and up.
Wow, yeah, that's crazy.
And the shoreline goes forever, you know. It's like it's 50 miles of shoreline, and that it's, you know,
yeah,
it's more than 50 miles. The lake area is 200 miles long, and there's 200 miles of shoreline that opens up into water wonderland and fishing and boating, and you know, even the girls look better.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, in the summertime they do.
Yeah, in the summertime they do.
Yeah, but I think Texas looks like that's going to be the
Texas was interesting to me. When I looked at the housing market there and the price, I could have got that house for $47,000, and it was just a house, and it was up into the city. And but you were just, what was the town? You were just like, I could have rode my bike to the good
Galveston?
part. Galveston. Yeah. I could have rode my bike to the good part, and the lifestyle just picks up, and then 10 minutes away, and I could have rode my bike there, and it's like, wow, that's interesting.
I know. The prices are gone skyrocket in Texas, I think, lately too.
Yeah, the housing market skyrocketed now. The house probably sells for close to 80 now.
Oh, I would say, yeah.
Oh, sure. It was a nice little house in back of a church. That's the only reason I didn't go, is because it was like and then I started thinking about my sister. She lives there, and it's like,
okay,
I should go see my sister, and she hooked me up, and with everything, you know. It's like, but I didn't do it. It's like,
yeah. But you know, you got the nature there.
Yeah. When I started looking around, I was like, oh man, there's trails. It's a little drier, but it's not too bad. It's like there's going to be different things. If you go in towards Louisiana, that's when you probably start getting really interesting. Then parks and nature.
Oh my God, yeah.
I'll bet, you know, the swamps,
crocodiles and alligators.
Crocodiles. And shit. I always wanted to just fight a crocodile. I got to do that before I die. Is fight a crocodile.
Yeah, like Hoka style.
Hoka style. Just jump on its back and.
Well, Hoka just has to point his finger at it, and
the crocodile will run.
Right.
The alligator. Right. We don't have crocs. We have alligators, but just jump on the back of an alligator and beat it with a rock hammer.
Yeah, Hoka's done it all. He's
That's what I always
before say. Christ, Hoka was.
Hoka was the Hoka. Yeah, Hoka Hauer.
yeah. That's right. Before Schopenhauer, there was Hoka.
Hoka Hauer and the Hoka.
Hoka Camu.
Yeah.
Camu Hoka Hauer. Yeah. But the color. Let's talk about the color thing real quick. I don't know. You probably might want to wrap this up soon.
Cutler.
But I like Cutler. I like him. I like his attitude. The fact that he broke the divorce, and he's trying to make her responsible too. You know.
Right. Yeah. This should be like an interest of the MRA and MGTOW to see which way that decision goes. See if he gets half the company, which he deserves, and if it is this way, is it this way for unbiasedly between the sexes? And he should get half the company and half of all the marital assets.
Well, and I think her, like, without him, like, I don't even think she has a company. Like, he probably helped her. He helped her get exposure
on his reputation.
Right. Exactly right.
That's probably his argument. I could see. But I'm going to watch it. And I'm going to put it in for Google notices as it goes on, and see how it plays out. But you know how it's going to play out.
Yeah, she's going to probably get what she wants.
Yeah. That's a Bernie Kosar went through that too. His ex old lady had a company, and he didn't get none of it.
Bernie Kosar is funny. He has a clip on YouTube. Like, he goes, "Bless me, Father, for I have sinned." He goes, because he's talking about this Kellen Clemens, like, preseason football game. Like this quarterback. Remember him, Kellen Clemens? He played for Oregon.
Yeah,
and he played for the Chargers, and I think he was playing for Cleveland or Miami at the time or something. And Kosar goes, "I got to watch this guy
goes, "Bless me, Father, for I have sinned." He goes, "Oh boy, look at this guy." He's like, it's one of the funniest clips I've ever seen. Because sports commentators don't usually, they're not as that outspoken. But here's a guy from Ohio he doesn't give a shit. He's just gonna tell it like it is.
He's got a little mean streak in him. He just made the news this week. Bernie Kosar. He was giving the he owns a house that was a rehabilitation house. He's giving it to Danny Green's lieutenant, the mafia Danny Green guy.
Oh, yeah.
He got out of jail. So you can look it up on it. Just type in Google Bernie Kosar and it'll come Danny Green's. And he's given that for rehabilitation purposes for prisoners getting out. Probably. I'm not sure what he's going to do, but he's an ex-mafia. Danny Green's with the whole Danny Green affair and Sonderburn and all that stuff. He finally got out of jail. So Bernie Kosar is giving him that house, which is a really good thing. It's like,
yeah. I just posted you that. I just sent you that Bernie Kosar clip. It's pretty funny.
Okay. Yeah. So he's still a good guy. He went through a lot.
He's a great player, though, wasn't he? I really loved those Browns teams in the late '80s. I thought they were definitely going to go to a Super Bowl and maybe win it. Yeah, they were just such a tough team. Michael Dean Perry and Bob Golick, what's his name? Bob Golick, and
we were this far away.
They had a great team. They had that Minifield and Dixon on the corners. They had
Dixon on the corners.
What a tough team. And then you had a good running game. You had Bernie. It was a great quarterback.
He's just that sidearm sling around.
Webster right Slaughter. What's Webster Slaughter? Webster
Slaughter was it was
Ozzie Newsome. Ozzie was like late in his career, but boy, he was a great. Bear Bryant said he was the best football player he's ever coached.
He would just catch everything.
Ozzie Newsome.
He was the best tight end. He would just catch everything. And I can't remember the other two wide receivers back then. There was
they had a white guy, Brennan.
Yeah, Brian Brennan.
Brian Brennan, is that his name? Yeah, he was a good player.
He was just he was like Danny Armello.
Armin. Yeah, he's a guy who used to catch everything. Right, exactly. He wasn't that fast, but he was tough. They were good. Boy, it's too bad. I would have liked to see them in the Super Bowl. Instead, the Niners came in and they beat Denver 55-10 or something.
Yeah. Denver only won because of Ernest Biner's fumble, and it's like, but Marty Schottenheimer went into the bend but don't break defense, and that killed us, and they caught back up.
Oh, the drive, the fumble, and then the drive. Yeah, and Marty just passed away, I think, this year.
Yeah, that was the only thing wrong with Marty is he had that bend but don't break idea. He thought he was just gonna play the time.
He was a great coach, wasn't he? A great coach, though. I don't know. How's he not in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah,
because 200 wins.
Yeah, because of the Browns, and he lost.
But I remember seeing him in San Diego.
I think this team this year is better than that team, defensive wise.
Oh well,
we might be better than that defense back then.
They can get rid of Odell Beckham. That's not.
If they can get rid of Odell and just use that money for maybe they got so many receivers and Baker he's not typical. He passes to a certain guy that he likes and does what he does, and Jarvis is his guy, and the other guy is his guy, and he just he doesn't do that. I'll throw it past you because you're Odell Beckham. No, you got to be open. You got to be on the same page as him.
Mm-hmm. He's getting better every year, though.
He's getting better this should be a pretty good year. I'm thinking, this should be the breakout year where he, might throw for 3,000 to 5,000 yards.
This could be the MVP. Yeah, it could be MVP candidate this year. Yeah,
it just depends which one. If the effeminate Baker shows up, then we're done.
Yeah, he's 26 years old,
and they're still waiting on him. They haven't signed a contract with him yet, and if he doesn't do it this year, I think they'll start looking for, someone that could, someone better than a systems quarterback.
Yeah.
And they do that. Yeah. Case Keenum showed that he can take a team too.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
So
Baker's the guy. Yeah.
And I like that personality because he sells shirts and he sells tennis shoes, and that's what they.
Wow, I'm looking at his. Oh no, that was at Oklahoma. I was like, wow, those are his numbers at Cleveland. I was looking at Oklahoma.
He's got rather modest numbers here. Like you said, he's a systems quarterback.
But he had a great year last year. 26-8, 26 TDs, 8 interceptions.
Yeah,
3,500 yards.
35. Yeah, that's good as it
really
gets.
Good season. Yeah, that's a pretty good year for it.
Everybody talks about him like he didn't do something really good. No, he did really good.
Right. He had almost an all-star type season.
Yeah. This would be interesting around here come football season.
Yeah. Would you rather have Josh Allen or no? You guys.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'd rather have Josh Allen just because of his height. Yeah. And Baker does get a lot of balls knocked down. But my choice was Josh Allen, and I thought that was the guy. We might have went to the Super Bowl last year if we had Josh Allen.
Yeah, they're going to be tough, Buffalo.
Buffalo will be tough. Yeah. I think Denver's going to be markedly better this year, and who else? The Jets will be markedly better this year. I think there's going to be kind of a switch. I don't know if Tampa's going to be able to hold on, and who else is going to be much better?
Well, Tampa, Brady. How many years he got? What's he taking? What's he doing, Brady? Weird. It's weird how a guy like that old is that good still.
Well, what is that? That's conspiracy. He's getting the blood of little children pumped in him.
Is that what they're saying?
Yeah. He's got it.
Adrenochrome? He's getting adrenochrome, Joe.
Adrenochrome? Is that what they call it?
That's what they call it, yeah. Adrenochrome. I don't know, whatever. I don't even pay attention anymore because it's not worth wasting your energy on. I'm more interested in just walking in nature and getting a good night's rest. See, that's the thing. See, that's how I've changed. I do the introspection.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I can stay in LA. I can get a 6-figure job and whatever. It's no big deal. Whatever. Yada yada yada. But what good is that? I'm just going to make other people more money and I'm going to stress myself out in this job, or I can make 40,000-50,000 and have a nice, comfortable life in nature and upstate New York, and then get a good night's rest. Well, that sounds like the latter part's the better life, or not the latter form, whatever. It sounds like living in upstate New York's better. It's a better deal for me.
Right.
And I'm starting to realize that now.
If it's going to be better for you mentally, and
right. It's going to be better for me mentally, and I still have that kind of. The thing is, I'm not 27 anymore.
Right.
Like when I was a little naive, it's like, okay, yeah, big city, okay, make things happen, blah blah blah. But now it's like, nah, I'd like to slow down, get a good night's rest.
Yeah.
And I always said, I've been saying that too lately, the last few years. Like, you wanna assess how good your life is. See what kind of sleep you're getting at night. Like, are you getting a good night's quality rest every night? Then if you are, then you're probably doing the right things. And if you're not, then you have to make some adjustments.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to adjust here pretty soon in this town.
Oh, really?
This town's getting too.
Yeah, take a break somehow. I don't know.
There's a difference between poor and too poor, where it becomes hostile, and this town's becoming hostilely poor.
Oh, really? Yeah. Okay. Sounds like downtown Syracuse, like some parts of ghetto. We had a ghetto out there. And
you can see that people are doing things around here that never happened before. Like there's houses being broke into, and older people are starting to get victimized. You can tell when the industry leaves and people are without jobs that they will do shitty things to other people.
Sure. Like that girl in Syracuse, she killed a 93-year-old woman just to have a place to stay and take her food. And 93 years old, imagine that. How do you do that? How can you? But that shows a predatory nature of a human being, right? It's like that's just
all people have a dark side, and when push comes to shove, they do that. And
right. That's the predatory. That's the predatory. That's all she could conquer. Believe me, if she could kill she could kill a guy. She could kill me and take more from me than she would.
She would, right? Yeah. So that predatory thing starting around here, and I don't care to live. I have to put I ordered I took down all my old security and I had to order all new security cameras this week. I noticed like there were pry marks on my garage door where someone was trying to pry in, and what I keep in the bike shops in my garage, and I know what they were trying to steal. They were trying to steal my bikes.
Sure.
And it's like, okay.
That's crazy. That sucks. That's one of the reasons why I left where I lived.
What about that is like the only thing I really love in this world is what? My bike. And they were going to steal them from me.
Sure.
It's like, I thought that was so wrong. It's like, to other people, they're just bikes. To me, there's something I built with my hands, something I made for me. They reflect my personality. And it's like, they mean more to me.
Well, if you got to get a picture of Hoka, like in the
I was
like
just
instead of a guard.
And he's
get a picture of Hoka.
Like, don't even.
They would say, "Oh shit, that's property Steve Hoka. We don't want to mess with him."
Like, run. Everybody leaving those Hoka. It's like, don't fuck with the Hoka.
Yeah. So No, I hear you, man. And that's the thing. It's like.
I was just. I didn't tell anybody, but I was just recently robbed too. Someone came in my front door and.
Wow.
And they took some stuff that was I probably shouldn't have left out, but I keep up on one of my little things because I look at them daily, and they stole some rings from me.
Wow.
And one of the rings.
Inside job, you think, or no?
Probably an inside job. And they weren't like real valuable, but one was my grandfather's ring. It was the Mason ring, my grandfather's Mason ring, where he had to win it, and it was a war prize where he took it off another dead soldier, and that's how we made it to this country, by fighting our way down to South Africa. The English were hunting us, and the French were hunting my grandfather, and that was one of the tokens of that war. And he gave it to my father. My father gave it to me because he trusted me, and then somebody came in my house and fucking stole it.
Yeah. Wow.
I was just so depressed. That was like when I didn't show up for a few days there. I was really depressed about that, and I didn't want to tell anybody about it. But it was like, my house got, and my cameras were off, and so
somebody stole my brother's bike, and I had my brother's bike. I was,
and it means more to you.
It means more to me, and I was so pissed that day. That's when I went to go buy that rock hopper. It was like the next day I just wanted to buy a better bike now. To say fuck you to them, I'll buy a better bike. And my landlord is nice people, but like he didn't even take any money off the rent or because he left the garage door open because he got in a fight with the wife or girlfriend or whatever downstairs. Yeah, it's like he exposed my bike, and it's like, I should have locked it up. Okay, I take responsibility. I'm not.
Well, you had to pay for something. You had to pay for his B.
Right, I had to pay for his B that he's arguing with, and he leaves the garage door open, and then sure enough, people see an opportunity. It's terrible when that stuff like that happens, when you get something that you really like stolen.
Yeah, I got to start getting a better lock on my bike and everything. I might put an internal lock on it. And
my uncle has all these cameras everywhere where he installed his own security.
What I want
10 years ago.
I get these little ones coming where I can put them up, and they'll just take pictures of their motion sensors. That'll take pictures of and then I'll know who it is because it's a small town. So and then I can have a talk with them.
Well, that's why like places like Texas, they don't even, because they'll just shoot you. They don't give a fuck. They see you come in front door and they don't know who you are. They're robbing you. They'll just fucking blow your head off. They don't even care. Texas is a totally different ballgame. I think Florida's kind of the same way. A lot of places in the South are the same way. Midwest.
Yeah.
And then like the East Coast, like the West Coast, will be like, well, what do you need? Like, you want me to box it up for you? Stuff that you stole? They're a little different out here with that.
when I lived in Cleveland, man, I got broken into so many times, and it was like, it was almost ridiculous. And that's half the reason I left, is because when a neighborhood turns like that, it's like not worth living in. But this neighborhood's getting like that. I mean, I think it's the pressures of Corona and job loss and stuff like that. It might rebound, but I'm not willing to be that victim. And like I said, I'm the only Irish guy around here. It's like I got a target on my back because it's perceived that I'm doing so much better because I have a privilege.
Yeah, that's like you said, and I think that's why it's good to kind of. I feel the same way. Like with driving cross country, like I felt like total like outcast in the Midwest. Like
right,
like,
yeah. And when you leave someone, it's like you gotta get the attitude like, hey, you guys don't love me. All you lose is me.
Yeah. Like when I was driving through Iowa and Kansas and Indiana or Illinois, even Illinois, like the whole I just felt like an outcast because like there's not a lot of Italians there, and it's like really
and
waspy, weird area. Like a lot of Protestants there,
Up here, I got used to it, and I was indifferent to it. But now I'm more like, as I get older, I really like to be looked at with respectfully, and people like me that I know that if something happens, there'll be someone that enjoys being around me, and it would be beneficial to have people around me that cared for me.
Yeah. No, it's true. It's true.
But I am a cranky old son of a bitch. I'm a really wonderful.
Yeah.
If you knew me in life, you'd go, man, that guy he's unique.
Yeah, well, that's the MGTOW thing too.
We're the MGTOW thing. Is
we're the most evolved. I always said that we're the most evolved, because even those guys in London are, the one guy there, he's not a dummy. I mean, but he's a trad cuck, and at least he probably knows it now who he is.
He showed it.
He showed it, and he showed it, and but he's not a bad guy. I don't really.
No, he's not a bad guy.
I wish him the best, but he's not as evolved as I think a true MGTOW is, because we're like
I designed that to be for the trad cucks to show their trad cuckery. I intentionally make it. Well, my theory on that with the fatherhood thing is I intentionally make it so it's a non-friendly truth, and then they show themselves.
Yeah, and right, and then you had to point out the fatherhood thing too, because I had trad cuck tendencies too, but I when you pointed that out, I agreed with you right away.
Yeah, a lot of people, MGTOW, oh yeah, I never thought about that, and I agree with them. An MRA or a trad cuck will go, no, that's not true, because they're still hanging on, they're grasping onto that last bit of thing that they think will change everything.
Right. They're living
Yeah, they're living in a fantasy fiction world.
Yeah. They're
grasping a hold of that last thing that I destroy. And it's cruel of me to destroy. I know it's cruel of me to destroy that for them. But that's the way I determine who's MGTOW and who's not MGTOW.
But they don't even understand. Listen, I like that. I mean, that guy did a lot for men. Okay, I'm not trying to disregard what he did for men, and the thing is, I'm being very sarcastic. Like a lot of times when they don't understand the sarcasm. Sometimes but the bottom line is you're saying those things to help them. Like they don't. I don't know if they're at that level yet where they understand that. We're not there to really make fun of them. I mean, I make fun of London. I joke around, whatever, blah blah blah. But I'm not really. It's more just I'm trying to get through to them to help them have a better life.
Long time, and I think most people, the longer you've been around MGTOW, you're going to eventually say, Trav was right about that.
Of course. And then when you have guys like Schopenhauer, Camus, and Marcus Aurelius, and all these great thinkers that have proven themselves to be correct, and then we see it through our own observations, and then you see the destruction of TradCon and all this kind of stuff, and then you realize, he was right. Trav was right. Yeah,
hard. Nobody knows how hard it is more than me. I mean, I went through the whole thing, and you went through the whole thing, and you know how it's easier for a lot of men just to go back to the blue pill and be like Cypher. It's easier. And that's a great analogy there, the Cypher analogy. That's like, yeah, it was easier for him because, he knew that the steak wasn't real steak, but it gave him some happiness and joy.
Yeah. Oh, in the Matrix.
Yeah.
What was his name again?
Cypher.
Cypher. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we got a lot of
Sal
Cypher.
Palantonio. What's his name? Not Sal Palantonio. The guy that played. He was on Sopranos too.
Yeah, he was
He's a good actor. He was on Risky Business.
Risky Business. He does the series of. He was the boss in Jersey
Sopranos.
there.
Sopranos. Ralph Cifarella.
Yeah.
He's like the worst character in Sopranos. I've been watching a lot of Sopranos closely. Yeah. He was without a doubt the most repulsive, like of all the bad character, of all the like people that I would not want to be around. He's number one. Ralph Cifarella on that.
Ralph Cifarella.
He's a guy I would just. Like in my own fantasy pick, he's a guy I would just, that's a freebie. I'll just get rid of him for free.
Yeah, he's got that same character he plays in Boardwalk.
He beat up I think he beat up one of the stripper pissed him off and he killed her. And this is obviously the show, but just a show. But just his character was such a little.
The strippers.
Yeah, he was just such a piece of shit. This guy and
yeah.
And Tony just let him get. Tony was, in a lot of ways, Tony was kind of a pussy too. Actually, guys get away with too much.
Got him in trouble. His simpness for his wife.
Right, and the simpness. Tony ends up killing Ralph because over a horse, which whatever. I mean, I guess that's Tony. Tony was kind of a little maybe too compassionate at times for the. But it's just a TV show. We're just bullshitting about it. But,
Boardwalk Empire. Yeah, he plays in Boardwalk Empire.
Oh, you're talking about Steve Buscemi. I liked his character. What's my favorite character on Sopranos was Johnny Sacramone.
Johnny Sacramone.
Because he was a badass, but he had that level of compassion about him too.
That was Steve Buscemi. I'm looking.
And Steve Buscemi. It wasn't Steve Buscemi. It was the. Let's see. I'm gonna say. Let me look up his name. Sopranos is pretty good though. It's pretty good.
In Fargo.
His name is Joe Pantoliano. He's a good actor. I hated that character though. I just couldn't stand his character on Sopranos. He's such a wise ass, and he's just a little.
I was hoping they'd bring back Billy Joe Thornton in Fargo because he was one of the greatest characters ever.
Buscemi? Buscemi's character?
No, Billy Joe Thornton.
Oh, okay.
Fargo, he was just ruthless. He was just like a psycho. He had no.
Oh yeah. Was he on Big Lebowski?
Yeah, I think he was in the Big Lebowski. Billy
Joe Thornton.
He had that when he did do Fargo. That was like. I thought that was the first 2 years of Fargo. Then he left, and then they redid Fargo, and then it's like they kind of left him out. He
was in the movie Fargo too.
Yeah, Fargo. Yeah, I think he was in the movie.
I saw that movie in
Billy Joe
movie theater. I saw that in the movie theaters.
That was one of the better movies of all time, and the series was great. It's like
1996.
Yeah.
Oh, let me see. Okay. Yeah, Buscemi's good at. He was in that. He was a good actor.
Yeah.
No, I think that was somebody else. I can't find him. Anyway.
Well, we're going up on 3 hours. You can keep this thing going, or?
I don't know. I got just hanging out. I don't know what else. Anything else on your mind, or?
Not really. A hamburger.
Yeah, no, that sounds good. I think I gotta start drinking. I think I gotta start drinking beer. I haven't drank in so long. It's like
beer.
I gotta just start drinking beer to maybe balance my chemicals better. I don't know.
Yeah, we have one beer. It's not two. One beer, a burger and a beer is not going to get you alcoholism as long as you understand. If you start drinking beer to mask depression, or then that you're an alcoholic.
Yeah,
it's like.
Well, it's like these guys that
you know what your
you gotta
body,
understand.
you know what your body is, your stomach and your intestinal area. It's a brewery. It takes everything and it breaks it down to sugars. Beer is just, it turns it into blood alcohol, and your body consumes it. And it's like, so 1 or 2 is not bad for you once in a while, as long as you're not an alcoholic. It's like a glass of wine is probably better for you.
Yeah. Anyway, so we had no topic today, did we? Just want to kind
Yeah,
of
we went topicless. I feel all dirty.
Yeah. No, I would just end it like you say, like I would just I think like getting into those old philosophers like Schopenhauer and Campbell, Marx, Marx.
Well, yeah, once you understand the progression of modern knowledge, it's like you start from most people start from Plato and they read the Republic, and then you move up to probably the 1700s, like Schopenhauer and Kant, and you move up from there, and you can move into Nietzsche and Sartre, and then you can move up to Camus, and then Foucault, and then you can start looking at guys like Rawls, and you start looking at science, the philosophy of science, and the progression of postmodernism, and stuff like that, and you work your way all the way up until you have a good grasp of knowledge, and then you can mix in some quantum physics with that, and the way the world really works with some observation, and then you get a better understanding of life.
More Schopenhauer and less Malcolm Gladwell,
more Schopenhauer.
Like these contemporary authors that are just doing it for money or whatever.
Specific logic gates that they use, and they're once you start looking at the what do you call that, the syllogisms of how they pose their ideas, then you can keep those and move on and take that, and then you see how that syllogism works out as a truth with the next guy and the next guy and the next guy, and then there'll be arguments in there that are interesting about how people look at how observation works, and how you're not seeing the same thing as other people, and you have to respect that fact, and it works out into everyday life.
Yep. And with that,
okay, we're going to close it up, and thanks for everybody coming around. There's Very Benjamin, haven't seen a couple guys we haven't seen. There's Heidi and Very Benjamin, and Susie was in, and
Hetty. You mean Hetty?
Hetty was in. Hetty.
Call him Heidi. It's Hetty.
Hetty, and sorry, Hetty.
He's an OG. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. And we had who was in earlier?
RP. Don't take RP for granted, or Soothie, these old school guys. I don't know if JK was in there, but all these old school guys we don't take.
What's his name around? Ludwig, which is what's his original name? That we looked him up this weekend. Lou, the guy that's trying to irritate us.
The Jesus
Luigi.
Guy.
That's Luigi.
Oh, Luigi, that guy. Yeah, I don't know if that was
really good at changing his name. So,
if you saw the picture of that guy, you would say there's something wrong with this guy.
Yeah, he was.
I'm sorry, Luigi. It's just true. You're not.
Luigi was in. He almost spelled it the same way, but he wants to show us that Christianity is good, and he.
I shouldn't judge people by their appearances. That's so sorry, buddy.
Yeah.
See, that's a sarcasm thing, and he might take it the wrong way. So.
Yeah. Who else was in the Doghouse?
Who else was in? Wookie was in. Badass Dan was in early.
Yeah, Badass Dan. We've seen Badass Dan today.
Yeah, Wookie, Soothie.
Yeah. So thanks a lot for coming around, all those guys, and hope to see more in the summer, and share your stories with us and your ideas, and most of all, thanks each one of these guys for being MGTOW. Oh shit, I fucked that up, didn't I? Thanks for being MGTOW.